I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy.
All right, so on the Ninja Turtle thing we were talking about though, I don't know if they're gonna do Dracula because I don't think there is a good enough character because they're either gonna have to go like fully like cartoony Dracula like they did before, but like I don't know because they're out of turtles obviously. Oh yeah, I'm gonna turn my camera off. They're already using both. I thought maybe they would use Casey for Dracula because that would work too. But he's doing Phantom of the Opera, which you know the movie Phantom of the
Makes
Opera with the
sense.
whole jacked up face, which is already a similar enough look to Dracula. So maybe they'll skip Dracula entirely because I also don't see them doing Creature from the Black Lagoon. Although apparently those they did drop the teasers during Halloween time. You know, they're doing like 30 days of monsters or something. So they dropped teasers for a lot of stuff. NECA. So their Creature from the Black Lagoon is coming, which, you know, I think after that I'm out. Like I don't even think I need the Invisible Man. I kind of don't care. I mean,
for the live action one?
Yeah, I need Donatello, but Invisible Man I could care less about.
That was one of my favorite ones when I was a kid.
Yeah, I just, you know, other than looking much like you mentioned, like a mummy or a dude with a clear head, I mean, it's like, it's like he's just basically a human. There's nothing crazy going on there except that he's invisible. You know, I wouldn't call him a monster. You know, a supernatural thing.
He's a monster. He's not even really supernatural because it's a science experiment gone wrong.
Well, I mean, super.
He's a monster because he's a fucking killer. He's psychotic.
Yeah. The guy himself, you know.
Yeah.
But also, I never considered, like, they never gave us, like, a hunchback or anything else like that from Frankenstein, like, at all. Like, they just gave you the monster, or Igor, or anybody. Like, it would be cool since the NECA accessories kit comes with virtually everything in the lab, including the table and stuff. It's like, why do we not have an actual doctor, or even Dr. Frankenstein himself? You know, it was like
that guy. That was probably because of a licensing thing.
I mean, I would think so. It's like I don't know who played that character. You know, I don't know who the actor was for that. Obviously,
besides, if they're going to give us a Dr. Frankenstein, I want Dr. Frankenstein, and I want it to be Gene Wilder.
Yeah, I was about to say we need young Frankenstein figures. That would be quite amusing. And NECA's doing the Rob Zombie Munsters, but not the original, which makes me sad because I would probably buy a set of the original Munsters, like black and white. Like I'd go for the black and white set there, because I figured that would be pretty cool. By the way, still haven't found Hudson in person, so interesting.
I mean, by the time you get him, it's not even gonna matter at this point.
No, I mean it matters just because I want him. By the way, I can hear all of that.
Well, that's why I muted.
Yeah, it's like you're doing it all right in front of the. Right in front, almost said camera, but microphone.
Well, that's why I'm muted for a second. But you're about to hear it again, anyways.
The audio.
We're gonna play around with the difference in ratchets because now I got the new one in one side. We can hear it from the old one.
Yeah. So guys,
prepare yourself for clickety clackities, guys.
So guys, as we're about to go into clickety clackities, welcome back to Now You Made It Awkward podcast, episode 32. And Rikki is over here working on his New Age Devastator. I almost said Minosaur. No, their Minosaur. Their Minosaur is not happening for a long time.
Yeah, it's not out yet. But I do have the Magic Square one.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny is New Age just kind of completely abandoned theirs. Like they showed off, I think it was Wild Rider, and like never did anything. They just showed off an image of him and like teased it and then did nothing. And then Magic Square dropped theirs entirely. So yeah, it's like, okay.
And they're like, fuck it. We don't want to mess with Magic Square.
Well, I mean, in every other aspect they do. Now they need to be Magic Square to getting a hot rod out though, in my opinion.
Nobody's done a proper hot rod except for what, MFT?
Was that who it was?
Yeah, I think it was MFT.
I don't know. I can't keep track. And there's so many companies now doing KOs. I think I just saw on, it was either Chosen. No, it wasn't Chosen Prime. It was some other website where they were showing off clearly the KO Optimus Prime. You know, the 3K Optimus Prime, like with the light up chest and everything. I was like, wow, that is a blatant KO.
Oh, from the movie?
Huh? No, not even from the movie. Just the bigger, like the actual figure, the one that lights up and all that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like,
so when I say 3KO
or whatever.
Yeah. So somebody clearly KO'd that. I don't know if it's the same size or anything, but it's exactly the same, even with the giant jet axe and everything. Which I don't support KOs unless the only way I say KOs are legit is if you buy the original first and you want like another one. But you don't
The only way I've never been a fan of them. I've gotten one by accident that I know of out of my whole entire collection. I know for a fact I have one, and that's because the person didn't tell me it was a KO when I ordered it.
Yeah, you told me about that.
And well, he told me before I got it, but after I paid him money, like, you know, so I was like, okay, cool. So I'm not gonna go through all this, give me my money back shit. Just give it to me, and it'll just sit there until I get the proper replacement. In fact, it's hot rod. Ironically, it's a Takara hot rod.
Yeah. Either way, guys, of course, you can follow me at all the Shoky and Shoky related things down below in the links. Yeah, go buy some merch, please. It's like Christmas is coming. You need merch. You need t-shirts. You need coffee mugs. You know, all these things. And Rob would be here, but for some reason he's not. We assume he had a meeting and therefore isn't here. So if Rob pops in later, yay for that. Of course, there's Rikki.
I'm going to talk a lot of shit to him.
There you go. You should. And of course, Rikki's over there, and you can follow his work for Nerd Rage Radio all over on the Facebook, where he makes their promos. And of course, Friday nights at 9 on the Realm Hatton Project on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel, linked.
Look at you getting the time and date right, man. I'm proud of you.
Well, the day's easy. The time was the part I got screwed up. And speaking of the date and time, guys, did you remember to set your clocks? Because that could also be why Rob's late. He forgot to somehow set all of the clocks in his house 2 days ago to the point that he's forgetting to come here today. Also, fuck time changes, man. It messes me up every time. No pun intended.
Excuse me. Sorry. I wish they would just get rid of it.
I love that you unmuted and then sneezed.
Well, I didn't do it on purpose. Like right when I hit unmute, I sneezed. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, but that was funny. It's like you unmuted to sneeze for
just to sneeze into the microphone and say sorry. I wanted y'all to know that I'm living through it over here.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
I still think they should get rid of them. It's an outdated concept. It doesn't work.
I mean, it works for farmers, and that's
it. It doesn't really. See, that's the problem. Is most people stick to that and they stay to that. But when you farm, you get up when the sun comes up. You go to bed when the sun goes down. It does not matter what fucking time of day it is when that fucking happens. You are up when the sun comes up. You're in bed when the sun goes down, because that's how it was originally set, because back then they didn't have electricity. So they had to do everything while there was daylight, and then they had to stop.
Yeah.
So it's fucking dumb. I had this argument with my wife. She's like, but then it gives them a longer day to work. I'm like, no, it really fucking doesn't, because you're not.
They're just going
you're
by
still
the
getting up an hour later. All you've done is shift where the 12 hours of daylight is.
The only thing that would change would be
if you own a sundial and actively fucking use it. That's the only thing that fucking changes.
Well, what I was going to say was that it would matter if you're going by people who don't or do still use the daylight saving time, and like markets would shut down after a certain time. That's the only thing I consider, is that, okay, you're going by sun up, sundown, they're going by time, and if the market closes at a certain time, and of course they're moving that back and forth an hour, then even though you're going by your, the large ball of light in the sky, it could just be whatever. I don't know. It's a stupid excuse.
It's progressively worse. Like it only is actually absolutely accurate the day of time changes. Every time anything other than that, the world in its orbit is constantly shifting it off by a matter of seconds. That's why after 6 months you have to switch it, because it's off by a whole hour. So it's never actually accurate except for the day of. That 24-hour period is the only time it's accurate. Everything else, it's slightly off, and it just gets worse as it goes.
I mean, time's just a construct, anyways.
Yep, it's all made up.
We just came up with a concept of time to enslave people even further.
Force people to work.
Pretty much. Yep, that's exactly right. Actually.
All right, so you ready for clickety clackities?
Let's hear some difference in clickities.
Let's see if we can actually pick up the difference, because I don't even remember which one I put them in now. Because I put it in one and not the other.
Yeah, well, you should be able to see the difference.
All right, so here's one of them.
That's a factory.
Here's the other one.
No, that's definitely factory. It sounds like a clock.
No, I think this one's actually the new one, because you hear how many clicks are in there.
I mean, you should be able to visibly tell, because it'll stop at different organs.
Yeah, it's definitely, this is the new one, and then this one's the old one. You hear all the gaps in between.
Yep, definitely about double the teeth.
Yep.
I know.
So, not too shabby.
We're playing a heck of a game here for y'all. For you listeners only, because there is no video version of this podcast.
It's ASMR, guys.
Yeah. Listen to them hip ratchets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it get you hard?
No. Nope, definitely not. So. Awkward mute. Muted in the
Well, I was going to go back to working on it while you were talking.
So I know, but you muted in the middle of laughing, which is why it was awkward.
Oh.
Yeah.
I heard you sip coffee and I hit mute.
Yeah, not even drinking coffee, drinking a beer.
Oh, okay.
Either way. So guys, yeah, I don't know what all we're going to talk about just at the moment, but because most of the TV shows have basically ended that we've been watching, with the exception of Andor. So,
which is still amazing.
Yeah. Yep. Tomorrow, new episode comes out. And let's see, had the new episode dropped? The second prison episode. Okay, so we do have to talk about that at least. So I guess awesome. we'll just talk our weeks just real quick, and then we'll just wrap into Andor, because I mean, not a whole lot going on since last week, other than the fact I had to edit 2 podcasts roughly. Episode as of right now, as we're recording this one, I've already got episode 30 done, and 31 done and uploaded. Listened to most of it this morning. Sounds pretty good. I like that.
We should do Andor now, because Rob's not even caught up on it. So we should get it out of the way before he pops in.
He should be.
I remember he was like way back.
No, he wasn't. He was up to current.
Was he?
Yeah, I know. I just
what was the one that he was behind on and was trying to play catch up on?
No, he was actually good on everything except for the only thing he didn't watch was Hot D.
Okay,
everything else.
That's the one.
Yeah,
that's the one.
So he's watched everything up to current. He just never watched that. Okay. So. Gotcha. He needs to jump on that. So actually, I did make notes about things that I watched in the past week, and I'm gonna go ahead and just do the thing. Oh, we have it. Or is that you messaging him? Is that what I'm seeing? Okay. Dumpster fire.
That was way earlier.
Yeah. Okay. So he replied, dumpster fire. Okay. Yeah, he's got nothing, so it's fine. He won't be here today. So unfortunately, Rob will not be joining us. No, he says it's bad. So okay. So we won't be able to talk shit to Rob this time, but it's okay. We'll have much.
We're saving it for you, motherfucker.
There we go. All right, let me pull up my notes here. So I use Messenger for my notes, and I'm also using
send messages to yourself.
Yeah, pretty much. But I also use it to send myself thumbnails. So I make my thumbnails on my phone, and so I send them to me so I can put them through on when I upload. Okay, so. When I was talking about comics last week, one thing I left out is that I had gotten the final issue of Disturbed's Dark Messiah and finished it. So that whole story.
I thought you did talk about Disturbed.
I talked about it, but I didn't talk about the fact that it was the end of it. Like I just talked about it existing, but I didn't actually talk about the comic itself. So, gotcha. I mean, like it is realistically just a Ghost Rider type story. You know, this weird messenger of God, hand of God type thing comes into when a world becomes too corrupt and stuff like that. It just drops in, finds a suitable host, and then it goes to work. But in this case, it's this firefighter who's like a pretty good dude, but then the funny thing is it's a combination of like Spawn, Ghost Rider, and the Batman Beyond. So it's kind of funny because there's like a 20-year time skip. Like so he dies in a fire at this like huge tech company, and then he comes back to life, and he's like, what the hell? And he's under a pile of rubble, and he digs his way out, and everything's gone, and there's suddenly like this futuristic mega city, and he finds out it's been 20 years. And then that's when he finds out that the guy has inhabited him. So it's much like Ghost Rider, you know, he flames on basically, and then like kills people with chains. He takes over a motorcycle. So, you know, awesome. But, you know, it's a pretty cool comic. And I did misspeak, and I said that it was penned by Capullo. It's not. The original designs on the Disturbed cover art and stuff is, but I totally got that wrong. The We Have Demons comic book is Capullo. So I was crossing different comic books in my brain.
Crossing streams on yourself.
Yes, basically. And then I got a box in from BBTS, which I did an unboxing for my members. Now, you guys won't see these things. So I did that. I also got back to reviewing this week, which I have not been doing. And I took about a week and a half off. Post Double October, I'm like, I don't even want to be in front of the fucking camera. for a while. It's like I've done enough. I want to take a break.
How did that go? Your Gundam thing?
Went fine.
You didn't really talk about that.
No, I mean it went pretty well. Some of the particular reviews got a whole lot of views. Some of them got minuscule, but sometimes it's just the algorithm. Sometimes it's just people aren't interested. But all of it got a better reception than last year or even the year before. But the funny thing is, this is the first year I included shorts because I had just these little display logos. So there's no reason to do a full on review. So I literally did a less than 1 minute review of each one.
Nice.
And one of those got like 700 views in like an hour. I was like, so that particular thing was like the thing that pushed. But I don't think that. Yeah, but I don't think shorts make money yet, according to YouTube. I think they're adding them to the partner program very shortly. Like, so you'll be able to monetize shorts or something. I don't exactly know how that worked, but either way, they work as advertising. So.
Right.
And then
that's where that guy Jerry was from your Double October stuff, right?
Well, Jerry's been a contributor / friend as it goes.
Okay.
So, but yes, Jerry had been involved in one Double October. He'd built a custom that we featured because I do a builder showcase.
I remember him talking about something.
Yeah.
About the
so Jerry's competed in my contest and he's participated in Double October before. So, and then as I mentioned, going forward, I won't be doing it as a review series anymore. It'll be a contest in the future. So I'll give people a heads up like 2 months out, so that way they have like 3 months to build their customs and stuff. And basically I'll just combine the two big things I do every year, and that's a contest and Double October into one thing. That way it also gives them, Bandai time to come up with new kits that people could add to it. But it also means that I can just review stuff when I get it instead of just sitting on it for a whole year or months on end, just to keep it all together for one day. But I got back to all of my action figures that I've been waiting on. So the NECA Michelangelo as the Mummy figure, which I just reviewed yesterday, which you saw pictures of, along with the Mummy.
The other 3 turtles.
Well, I already had the other 2 turtles, and yes, you're making that.
No,
joke
the other
again.
3 turtles.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I got Donnie ahead of time. So, but
He's
then
just invisible.
It's just invisible. I reviewed the last 2 Power Ranger Ninja Rangers. So I got them on the shelf. So that collection's done. No, I don't need the other Pink Ranger because I don't need to keep buying the same ones over and over again for a head swap. It's annoying.
Hashtag not my Kimberly.
You're not even a Kimberly.
Ugh.
Yeah, that's Cat. That's not even Kimberly.
The way failed.
Yep. So I did pre-order a couple things that are coming up in the future from Power Rangers, so that's a good thing. But like I said, members will see the unboxing video from BBTS, and then also annoyingly today, like an hour ago, I got pre-order arrival notifications for my New Age figures. So the RC and then Shattered Glass Cyclonus came in. Oh, nice. Good. I just paid down my credit card, so I'm so glad that $100 and some odd just jumped on there all at once again. I just paid a big chunk of my credit card yesterday. So anyways, how many more things do I have to review? Okay, so 1, 2. I got four more things I need to review today after we're done here. And then I'll be caught up on everything I have currently, and then we're gonna get back to building. And actually, I think am I up to current? Okay, so I was about to edit the Mummy accessories kit review before we started. So, like, I'm almost done and caught up.
The sarcophagus thing.
Sarcophagus and all that. Very cool set. Little overpriced for what it is, but still very, very cool. It would suck though to get that and like have like a really bad paint mishap or something. Because the cool thing is, like, you see how big the sarcophagus is. They have to hydro dip it. So, like, they have to. You've seen how that process works, I assume. And like for something that large and awkward, and you're doing the sides, and then like you do the whole front, and then they add tampos as well, and then weather it, with a little bit of dry brushing and stuff. Mine has a couple issues, but realistically, it just makes it look old and weathered, so it's not that big a deal. But it's a cool set, and can't wait for more. I gotta wonder how they're gonna do the Wolfman set. Like if they're gonna do a Wolfman accessory.
So you're gonna give them a gnarly tree with like some fog.
I was literally thinking it's got to be like the trees and like a moon backdrop. you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be cool. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the Ninja Turtles have accessory sets. A few other things. Gremlins have had accessory sets. So, I mean, it's not uncommon for them to do something. But when you have an iconic character who should have certain things, yeah, it makes sense. Well, let's just go ahead and give a whole pack of stuff to go with said figure. You know,
Right.
obviously, in theory, we'll get a Gargoyles accessory set with a whole bunch of wings and shit.
Ugh.
We talked about that before.
I know.
Let's see what else is going on. Oh,
Still
I still
mad
have
at them
have
check.
notes. I should remember these things. Oh, fun times. We had to replace our toaster this weekend.
Well, why'd you do that?
Okay, so don't know what happened. So we've had the same toaster probably for like 3 years, maybe 4, give or take. I can't remember when our old one died. And something happened last weekend, not the one that just passed, the one before. I made breakfast and everything, and then I went to go put away the cooking tray, baking tray, whatever, and the handle got stuck. I guess just by luck under the knob of the toaster, like it had just a little catch under it, and I think when I pulled that, it like broke
Off the spring or something.
something, because like it wasn't a big deal. I was just like, oop, pulled it and then fixed it. And then the next time I went to use a toaster, the knob wouldn't turn.
Ugh.
Like it was stuck on 3, which is not a terrible setting, but when you want to lightly toast something, it kind of sucks. Now, luckily, the cancel button still worked, but like after a couple days of that, it just, couldn't do anything. Like, I mean, it would technically function, but you didn't know if you were even going to be able to stop it or if it would pop on its own. So we just said fuck it and went to Target, got a new toaster, which, you could still buy a $12 toaster if you want, but it's definitely crap. So we went down like a middle of the lane toaster. But the cool thing is like everything there was either black or stainless or maybe chrome. And I found one metallic red. It was just buried, like somebody was hiding it for later. And I'm like, baby, can we get the metallic red one? She's like, I guess. Like, I was like, I'm getting a metallic red toaster. Look at it, it's beautiful. it's like it is a gorgeous toaster. And like, and I mean, a toaster is only a toaster, right? But like, I wouldn't mind like some cool retro shit that has modern technology in it. Like if everything looked like a Frigidaire or something or other from the 1930s, that would be fun. And I know you can buy like facades for like your fridge and stuff like that. I think you can even do it for like Samsung fridges. Like they're not like the ridiculous ones, but it's like it'd be cool. Just have like cool old looking stuff that functions. Retro mod, I guess is what you would call that.
Yeah. Something along those lines. Oh
shit. Hold on. I just got a message from a friend. Give me a second.
You heard it here, folks. Shoki has friends.
One.
Oh, he doesn't count me and Dormammu. We'll just go fuck ourselves.
Sorry, friend's asking for a ride around 4:00.
See, that's not a real friend. I would offer you a ride.
Yes. It's weird though. It's like that he doesn't have anybody else around. Like I was making sure. One problem is I have too many friends named Matt. I had to make sure which one it was. It's like because one of them lives right here in town. A couple of the other ones live pretty fucking far away.
Like, sure, I got you, and then you realize it's the one that lives.
It's
like
the rogue that lives
away.
like an hour and a half away. It was like, never mind, I lied.
That'd be fucked up. Oh, dude, I was totally joking. April Fool's early.
Yeah, sorry. Let's see here. Watching stuff. So the other night, I was just poking around. I think I was on HBO. Yeah, on HBO. I just wanted to find something else to watch. And we came across a movie that I've seen, but I made sure if the wifey had seen it or not. It was A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah, God, the Seth MacFarlane one.
Dude, I love that movie, and I did not remember how funny and dumb that movie really was.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's basically a live action Family Guy skit, if we're honest. But I love the Back to the Future reference thrown in, just for fucking shits and giggles.
Just because he can.
Just because he can, and I think they spoiled that in in one of the mini trailers or TV spots. I'm like,
Probably.
but it's perfect. It's like that just works. Of course, Christopher Lloyd was a little worse for wear by then, but playing a Doc Brown who just recently got stuck in the past was pretty funny. But that movie was great. You know, it still holds up. I mean, if you eliminate today's ridiculous sensibilities, I guess, you know, it still holds up.
Oh, it couldn't get. And ironically, it's not even that old of a movie, but it would not survive today.
No, I even said while we're watching it, I was like, this movie came out in like, I don't know, 2015 or something. And it's like, no, you could not make this movie today.
I don't even think it was that long ago, dude. I think it was like pre-pandemic, like right before it.
No. It came out quite a long time ago. Cause like, I think I don't know. Well, I can't remember because I don't know if Jessica and I were together yet when it came out. And that was 2015. So, either way, so it's somewhere in there. Either way, I like that movie. Right. I think it's funny. If you're not offended by just easily normal humor, I say normal.
If you're not offended by
us as
humor,
normal.
Yeah, and that just shows you how fucked the world is.
Yeah.
And then if fart jokes don't bother you, because he does make some pretty crude jokes.
There's some. Yeah, dude, the fart jokes are hilarious. Also, I love that like his dad is such a piece of shit in that movie. Like he's always talking shit to him, and then like he fucking farts, and he's like, that one hurt. He's like, oh, that one stung that. And then he lets out a terrible one. He's like, that one came out the front. It was like, that was fucking gross. And then like when he loses, I forgot exactly what. Not he didn't lose his job, but I forgot exactly what happened. And he said he was moving. I think it's when he said he was moving to San Francisco. His dad. She comes to check out him. And he's like, where are your parents? He's like, well, dad's up on the hill burying himself next to mom. So I think it was implied he killed the mother and was burying himself alive
next to her
because his son is such a failure. I was like, Jesus Christ, that was a rough movie. Dark. Yeah, it is a dark movie, but I love that Liam Neeson is completely in a different movie in that movie. It's like there's a whole separate movie where the bad guys are doing bad guys stuff, and then he comes in there. And I love the idea that she knocks him out with a rock, and then he's laying there with his ass in the air, and she just puts a daisy in his butthole. And leaves him like that. I was like, bitch, this whole movie would have been solved if you just killed him right there. Right, like, but no, he's like, but you made a joke, and therefore it caused way worse issues. But a funny movie. All right, another thing is I've been watching Thundercats 2011.
Nice,
and
the anime looking one.
Yeah, I like that show.
I love it, but you're gonna be so sad because it's gonna stop mid-story.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least they ended on a cliffhanger. I mean, I say at least.
That's not better. It should be the end of a story arc.
Well, I mean, it was kind of the end of a story arc. They got to that point, but the thing is, I didn't realize how fast-paced that was. Like, the first 3 episodes are, like, so fast and actually kind of disconnected. And then it, like, slows down after, like, the first 4 episodes. And then it's just like, okay, now we're... And I didn't remember that because, obviously, 2011 was, last week. So, it's hard to remember kind of shit like that, but it's still enjoyable. Some of the acting is a little odd every now and then. I love the animation quality. I love the kind of rebuilding that world to a degree. And of course they have classic Thundercats on there too, but I feel like it'd be much harder to go back and rewatch that.
It is hard, but it's not horrible.
Yeah, I figured it's not terrible. No, it's just going to be a hard watch.
It's not like going back and watching old school Voltron or anything bad like that, man. Like old school Voltron, I try to watch that with my kids, and I just realized it was just the same 3 animations, and all they did, they just they'd mirror it, they'd flip back and forth, and they'd change the background color.
Yeah,
it's the same 3 animations through the whole entire fucking show.
Yeah. I've noticed that lately. I was watching something else, and they were doing it. Oh, by the way, I was watching a video about the new Transformers show that's coming up. I think it starts this week, Earthspark. Apparently, there's going to be sections of that are like flashbacks to G1. And they've actually animated stuff in G1 style. It looks funny, but like they go all the way back to like the Sunbow animation as like a flashback. So I don't know. The show seems interesting because it's almost taking an IDW approach because like Megatron is not a Decepticon when they start. He's an X.
This is the new one?
Yeah, this is the new show that's coming up. So apparently Megatron has defected from the Decepticons at the beginning of the show, so apparently there's going to be a lot of flashbacks. So who knows? I've been side watching Unsolved Mysteries with the wife, the one on Netflix, and it's nowhere near as compelling as it was like back in the day. It's like, where's all the
Robert Stack?
Yeah, it's like, where's all the aliens and crap? These are just missing people. It's like all this is an unsolved mysteries. This is another 48 hours or something, or whatever that. Not that's a movie. What am I thinking?
Yeah,
of?
I think I watched like the first one or two of them, and it didn't really catch my attention. Plus, Robert Stack's voice is so fucking iconic, and his voice is the voice of that show to me. I don't hear anything.
I'm typing.
Oh,
yeah, I was literally being silent.
oh, okay.
I was making sure what time my friend needed to be picked up, so he wants to be picked up at 4. I just want to make sure he didn't need to be there by 4 because that'd be more difficult. All right. I think that's essentially it. I don't think we've done anything else. No, nothing else going on. I haven't really watched anything else of note. I mean, we're going to talk about Andor here after you get through your week, and then we'll talk about this one topic that's hot, as it were. Hot D. See what it did there?
The hot D.
That's a hot D. Okay. All right, so you go ahead with whatever your week has been. And the funny thing is, for me, our last week was yesterday because that's when I edited the last episode. So the actual week that I've just gone through is not fresh in my head. The week we talked about last week is actually what's fresh in my head right now. One more thing I did forget. Astros won the World Series, baby. Yeah.
Y'all can have it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's worth
it. To me, the World Series was suspended this year. Once the Yankees were out, I don't care.
No, it was great once the Yankees were out because we kicked their asses. But actually,
even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, bro.
Yeah. But is that blind squirrel named Carlos Correa?
I mean, sure.
Probably not. That'd be a weird name. That'd be a weird name for a squirrel. So
I'm gonna get a pet squirrel and name it that.
But at least for us here, it does mean something. One, it's our second win, but two, it's our first untainted win since we were accused of cheating after our first win. And so we cheated. Everyone fucking cheats, and it's like I forget how many teams were caught cheating after that, but none of them won.
The steroid shit?
No, like proper cheating, stealing signs and everything else like that.
So I didn't hear about all that, man. I don't. I don't pay attention if it ain't the Yankees.
Yeah, no. Well, the big problem is that was it against the Yankees? I think it was. Oh, you know what? What did it? It was after right after we won. One of the guys left. I forget exactly which person it was. So he left the team right after we won the first one, and he went to another team and then started talking shit. And he mentioned how they were stealing signs, and then people went back to review the game, and then they caught what was going on. But then since then, other teams have, been caught cheating almost in the same way.
That's not really cheating. If the other team is dumb enough to use the same sign enough for you to pick it up, that's on them.
Well, what was happening was they were watching for the signs, and then there was somebody nearby banging on a trash can or something to put out an audible signal as to what the sign was. Yeah. So I mean, we were
still not cheating.
I mean, realistically, if you're not cheating, are you really winning?
I do not agree with this sentiment at all. As a coach of a baseball team and a longtime sports guy when I was younger, I do not agree with what he's saying here.
I'll just go back to the Patriots and deflate.
But then again, I'm not from Texas, so I don't have to cheat to win. Whoa!
Well, apparently the Yankees are one of those teams accused of cheating.
But they didn't cheat to win.
Sure. Yeah.
Everybody always says that about the Yankees, and here's how the Yankees cheat. They cheated by throwing millions of dollars.
Yeah,
they were able to buy the best players, and that's not cheating. Yeah. That's just fucking
stacking
how the world
the
works.
Deck.
That's not cheating. That's if you're like one of those nerds that plays Magic the Gathering shit, and you have those super cards that everybody fucking wants, you can play them. It's not cheating. You have them. Play them motherfuckers. You went on eBay and you bought that bitch for $5,000 fucking dollars because you have to be that guy to fucking win. Then you bought it, use the motherfucking card. Why would you buy it for that and then not use it?
Yeah.
Of course. That ain't cheating. That's just good business.
You know what's funny about that though? Like this year, I
heard about that.
Well, we got the guy. Well, we got rid of a guy. I already forgot his name because he's that important.
Yeah, the one that did the fake Pokemon thing or whatever.
Oh, no. But I'm talking about one of the Astros players. They let him go because like his contract renewal was going to be something like 100 million or something like that. It was just some ridiculous number. And so we
Was it
traded
Harper? No, he's Phillies.
No, yeah. So we traded him off, and then we bought a dude from the farm leagues. I think he's from Puerto Rico. I'm pretty sure somewhere. We got him for like, I don't know, like stupid cheap, like not even six figures. And he's a rookie, and he's the best goddamn player on our team. It's like, well, one of the best, anyways. So like in his rookie year, he won the World Series. Like that doesn't happen that often. And like
it's definitely of note.
And that is kind of the thing about it is, and this is the problem with a lot of sports, and even the Patriots went through this when Brady left. So Brady left because his contract was so fucking big that he killed the whole salary cap. So he left so that they could afford new people, and he went and he took a major monetary loss technically by going to Tampa. But
he got it back by winning Super Bowls.
Yeah, I mean he's still fucking winning, but I mean like not that he needs more money. I mean he even if he wasn't making all those millions, his wife is still independently wealthy, of her own accord. So
and now she's getting half of his money.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I forgot about that part. But well, it depends on the prenup. When you make that much money, usually you set up a good prenup to protect your shit. But anyways, like so the Astros did the same thing. The Yankees, if they did that shit, they'd probably come back a lot harder because we should not have walked all over the Yankees like we did. Like normally we struggle against the Yankees and we fucking decimated them. As in we reduced them by 10%.
I think they blew their load just chasing the home run record.
I think so too. Like I mean, I don't talk sports much because I don't pay that much attention to sports. But when it's shit like this, that's when it matters.
It's like hometown, you have to kind of be into it.
Yeah. I mean, if the Texans can get their shit together, and we actually have a few teams that are worth a damn again at the same time. Oh, by the way, so they had. Okay, so yesterday, Monday, they had the celebration downtown, like they did the Astros parade and shit.
The Texans used to be the Expos, right?
No, I don't think so. Because we didn't move a team here. We just started.
You started. Okay.
Yeah. So once I had to think about it because it's been a while. So the Oilers left and went to Tennessee to become the Titans eventually.
Right.
And then we just started up a new team. I don't believe they came from another. I don't think.
But that was football.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Yeah. But okay. So they did the Astros parade yesterday downtown, and it was reported upwards of 2 million people were there. Damn. That is insane. Like
that's a lot of
fucking people there, man. The pictures and videos and everything from that is just it's absolutely insane. That's with all the shit our city has been through, in the last like 7 years between different hurricanes, different storms, riots and everything else, snowstorm, all this kind of shit, that we kind of needed a literal win. And that was one thing, because when we won the first time was right after Harvey. It was a year after Harvey. We won the first time around, but then that got completely tainted. So to come back now, thinking that like we lost most of our good players, we had like maybe a solid like 5, and then like we rebuild the team to this level to just fucking walk. The Phillies gave us the hardest time. Like playoffs were nothing. Like we breezed through the fucking playoffs. And then like the Phillies gave us a run there for like 2 games. And then we just, came back and kicked their ass. Dude, I was actually watching the final game in my friend's house. Damn. Like we were scared when they actually scored, and then like turned around, and I was like, are they going to fuck up early? Because we usually do that. We'll fucking like get a whole bunch of runs up early and then just give up the rest of the game. It's like, no, we came back all the way to the end. And because we were up last in the 9th, like we only had to play 8.5. So it was just fucking cinched in the 8th. It was fucking beautiful. So it was a good time. Oh, and
but you brought it up, and so I have to ask you a quick question, because there's like 2 million people. Was there any rioting? Then does it really count as a win in the World Series then?
Yes. Well, because we didn't need to make the city.
You have to set shit on fire. It doesn't really count.
Look, we're not Philadelphia. Wait, wasn't that Philadelphia that destroyed it after the Super Bowl? They,
Yeah, when
they,
the Steelers won.
the Steelers won. That's right. They just destroyed that fucking town.
Yeah.
That's where people were hanging from the light poles outside in
No,
the
that was
street.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Okay, wrong city.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, Philly's the Eagles.
That's right. That's right. Pittsburgh's. Yeah, that's right.
You're welcome, Russ. I fixed it. You probably don't listen to our show, but I still caught it for you. You D-bag.
Yeah, Russ. I don't know who Russ is. All right, so go ahead.
Right. He's one of the guys on one of the other shows that I watch and interact with, and he's a huge Eagles guy, and we just give him shit about it all the time.
Yeah. Also, just tagging it on here, I would like to say happy birthday to Bert Kreischer. Just because his birthday was this past week, he just turned 50. You know, one of my favorite comedians. But to celebrate, so I watched Two Bears, One Cave. That's the podcast he has with Tom Segura.
Okay.
And for the last few years, they've been going back and forth on getting each other more and more extravagant birthday gifts. So it started with Bert buying Tom a like ridiculous jet ski. It might have started before then, but that's the one I recall. So right after they moved to Texas, he bought him a ridiculous jet ski so he could go ride around Lake Austin with his kids.
I was going to say, in Texas, good job.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have lots of
Might as well
lakes.
bought him a snowmobile at that level.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a $16,000 jet ski, so it was a ridiculous one, and it was brand new. Like either way,
but I'm just thinking no ocean.
Like, well, but we got plenty of lakes. We got some big ass lakes. Yep. But either way, and then it went back, and I forgot. Oh, okay. It started with Tom buying Bert an e-bike first, so he could get around town without having to do whatever. Then Bert bought him the jet ski, and then it went back. I forgot what he bought Bert last year, but then Bert came back at Tom's birthday earlier this year in April, or March, and he bought him a race car. So he bought like a club built BMW. You know, like a legit
like a
race
Formula
car.
One racer.
No, not like that. Like a fully caged out BMW 3 Series.
Okay.
Yeah, so whatever that particular level is, you know, it's so he bought him that, and then they customized it for quote unquote Two Bears Racing. So Tom's only just been learning to drive that because he's been on tour for like a year. And he's got an insane tour. He's done like 120 shows this year. Like,
so what was the new one this year?
Okay, so this year for Bert's birthday, yesterday the episode aired, which meant they filmed it last week. Because there's a running joke on Two Bears about Bert being racist and Nazi lover and all this stuff, which he's not.
Sounds funny already.
No, but I mean, it's a running joke. Like, none of it is real. There's no basis in it. It's just them talking shit back and forth. And then they
Gotcha.
So, and then Tom somehow discovered this thing, and he had to go through back channels to buy it, including literally paying cash on the black market. So, and as you know, obviously, you know, with your heritage, he bought him a little teacup, which, okay, sure, no big deal. And then he literally listed off the amount of people who have had it throughout the years, going all the way back to the 1940s, where it almost certainly belonged to Adolf Hitler.
That is super fucked up.
Yeah, it is really fucked up. But the funny thing is, he bought it for him obviously as a joke. Like, clearly as a joke. He got him an actual gift on the side, but he did spend a lot of money buying this joke. But the funny thing is, like, Bert's stuck in a weird position. It's like his friend went through a whole lot of trouble to buy him this thing that has.
No, I can't throw away Hitler's coffee cup.
Yeah, I can't throw away this, and it's like a steel, either steel or some type. It's not ceramic. He's like,
yeah, it's one of the military metal ones.
And he's like, and apparently it was like at his architect's house, but more than likely it was his. You know, somebody he visited to do his art and his stuff like that. And he's like, do I destroy this? Do I keep it? What do I do with this thing? And then one of their friends, because they called a bunch of friends to ask what he should do, including a few Jewish friends that he knows. And he's like, what do I do with this? And one guy's literally like, dude, drink out of it every day. Take the power out of it. And he's like, I don't know that it works that way. it's like
That's
use
not going to fix
or
anything.
give it to all of his Jewish friends to do with as they
Oh
please.
God.
Like not as an insult, but obviously it's like here, what do you
Yeah,
what do you
I'm
want to
picking
do
up
with
what you're
it?
dropping down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he thought about, maybe donate it to a museum or something, a World War
Mm-hmm.
II museum, something like that. So at this point, he didn't know what he's going to do with it. It's like, take it on tour with you,
Take it on tour.
Yeah.
Walk out on stage, drinking fucking coffee out of it.
Yeah.
See what happens.
I mean, like, with its significant historical thing, yeah, I wouldn't know what to do with it. Like, the actual aspect of it, I could care less. But it's like, okay, that is a legit historical relic. It's like, yeah, that should probably just be in a museum, anyways. But on the side, he bought him this, like, essentially a bronze bust of himself,
Mm-hmm.
because Bert's very narcissistic in that way. He just has like dozens of pictures of himself and a giant painting on the wall of his own studio. So, Tom feeding into
Okay.
that was just fun. So that was more of his real gift versus the insane one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess Mike is trying to join in.
Sweet.
No, he said his internet's out. I was like, you don't have to join in. We're good. We're already
All right,
halfway
tell
through
him
the
to jump the
podcast.
fuck on here. Tell him to make the goddamn caribou run faster or whatever the fuck he's got in a hamster wheel up there running his electricity.
Surprised he's not at work, actually. So either way, I'm totally done. I just needed to go on those last two tangents.
Okay. That was your week?
That was my weekend, then some. Yes.
All right. Did you say you had like some movies or something that you watched or something you wanted to talk about?
No, the only thing I was saving was Andor.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that one.
Yeah, we'll talk about that once you get through it.
Let's see. So my week has actually been pretty damn busy with a lot of good stuff going on. When did we record last week? Tuesday?
Tuesday, yeah.
So we played Tuesday night. Let me verify, make sure I don't tell you the wrong thing. We had the one team that beat us like really bad, like 11-0, like in the second week or whatever it was.
Yeah, you mentioned them, yeah.
We played them again, and they beat us. And I think it was Tuesday. They beat us, but it was Thursday. We had a Thursday night game. All right, so Tuesday night we played. So I had a few games. Oh crap. Okay, so Tuesday, which was the first last week, we played that night and we won 10-5. Ironically, we beat the Yankees. And then Thursday we played the team that beat us. Like they whomped on us like 11-0, like the first or second week of the season. And they only beat us by one. And they only beat us by one because we ran out of time because because Little League, it's a time limit thing. So you get an hour and I think 25 minutes, an hour and a half, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the home team, like if it's within a couple minutes of that time limit, when the home team gets up, they'll say this is the last at bat. Yeah. And they were the home team, and we were actually up by one at that point. And it was one single error. The kids did good. I mean, I can't be mad at them, but they ended up scoring the winning run on a walk-on. So that was the end of the game. But they only ended up losing 6-5. So, I mean, for most of the game, we were ahead of them. So it really was. They were doing really good. Our kids were that week at that game. So I was still proud of them. Sucks that we lost, but we closed the gap from 11-0 the first time to only losing by one the second time. That's pretty good uptick in my book.
Are y'all still at the top, or have you come down?
We're still ranked number one because we still only have 2 losses.
Still got the most amount of wins over. Okay.
Yeah, and the other teams that have like 2 losses, they've been giving away more points, so we have them beat on the points allowed.
I don't even consider that because I wouldn't even pay attention.
Yeah, because if you have a tied record, they go down to points allowed. They have the differentials and stuff. They break it all the way to hell down. But then we played last night. And I'm just going to go over that score real quick because yesterday was a lot more important than this baseball game. But they won last night 12-0. They beat this other team. I mean, they just put the whooping on them. So proud of them for that. But more importantly than that game, even though it is awesome, and tonight is our last game of the regular season, but more importantly than that game last night, it was my youngest's birthday.
Indeed.
He turned 11, which is just, it's blowing my mind that he's 11 already. But we had his birthday.
And which one is that?
Isaac.
Isaac, okay.
What we did is Friday, my mom and I had been talking over the week. So my mom and my wife and I figuring out what we were going to do for his birthday. And the team that we actually beat last night, they have a female pitcher on their team that is crazy awesome pitcher, like crazy. So when we played them a couple of weeks ago, like maybe 3 weeks ago, this kid was borrowing my son's bat and he hit. And when he hit, it bent the fucking bat, dude. Like it was almost a U shape. Like it bent the fuck out of it. Like she was rocketing these balls down there. And so we had to get him a new bat that I went the next day and just grabbed him one. But unfortunately, they didn't have the proper length. It was a 29 and he needed a 30. But it's the only one that had available because like the next one that actually had a 30 was like a $400 fucking bat, which I'm not doing for Little League, not in this lifetime.
Yeah.
So I just got him 29. I said, hey, we'll make it work until I can order you one offline to get something better. And but what I didn't tell him was I'd been talking to my mom and told her that he needed a proper bat. So I sent her the links and stuff, and her and my aunt went in on it together because it's not top tier expensive, but it ain't the cheapest one available neither. And they went in on it together and got him a bat. So Friday, my mom picked them up from school and she took them out to like a lunch dinner thing. And my wife went and met him because I was at work. And then he went to practice after that. But for his birthday, she gave him that bat. Cool. So my wife and I had already talked what we wanted to do because he's a catcher. So he has his backpack bag with like his helmet and gloves and his bats in it. And then he has a whole big, huge catcher bag too that he has to tote around.
Oh, yeah.
So we ended up getting him this really nice bag that holds all of it. Like it holds everything. And it's made specifically for catchers in mind because it's weird when you see it all packed up, like his shin guard's actually strapped to the outside of it. Everything else has pockets and stuff inside.
Okay, I saw that. Yeah. I was confused by that. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, it's his shin guards are strapped to the outside.
I thought it was just an armored backpack.
Like, yeah, and it has like this. Like at first, like when I was trying to help him put it all in there, like we reloaded everything. Once he opened it, that's what we got him for his birthday. Yeah. Once he opened it and he started loading it up, we took his chest protector and I was like, I guess it just goes in here with the helmet. And I just stuck it in there with the helmets because it's a big pocket. And so I just stuck it in there with that. And we're looking at it, messing around. There's like all these zippers everywhere. There's pockets everywhere. There's all kinds of crap on this bag, dude. And he goes, what's this zipper? Is this where the bats go? And I was like, no, the bats go here. And I showed him because there's like the bag, it doubles. It has rollers. So it has like the extendable handle like you do with your luggage.
Yeah.
So you can roll it, or it also has backpack straps. You can pull them out of the little back pocket and throw it up on your back if there's nowhere to roll the bag at.
Oh, cool.
So where the extendable handle comes up, that's where the bats go because they actually have like little Velcros to hold the bats in place inside there.
Nice.
And so I was like, no, the bats go in there. And he goes, well, then what's this for? And we start looking at it. And it's just a thin pocket that just drops right in front of the bats. And I'm like, I have no idea. He goes, I know. It's where the chest protector goes. Like it's literally just this long, slim pocket just to slide his chest protector down into. That's it. That's it. It has its own little pocket for the chest protector. So he was super excited about that. It has like hooks that are on like Velcro. On not Velcro. Hooks that are on fucking, God damn it, elastic. So they tuck down, like you don't really see them when you're looking at the bag, but if you reach into this little side pockets and pull them, they come out so you can hang it on the fence in the back of the dugout and stuff.
Sure.
He loved it. He's super excited about it. So he got to take that and use that for his game last night for the first time.
Yeah. Speaking of baseball bats, check the link I just sent you.
Okay, I will. Like he was super excited about it. He's really big into baseball. He got so that was Friday with his mom, and Sunday we gave him his gift or Friday was with my mom. Sunday we were taking him out to like his birthday dinner, like with my in-laws and stuff. And we took him and they gave him like cash money, like in a card, because they didn't know what to get him. And we had told him, like, just go right there to Dick's Sporting Goods and, get him a gift card because he'll always use it for sports stuff. And so they got him that and cash. I was like, holy crap, guys, you guys need to relax. But it kind of works out because he's about to outgrow his cleats. His cleats are getting kind of tight, and he's definitely outgrown his batting helmet. So we only have tonight's the last regular season game, and then we have a single elimination tournament next week. It's Monday and Tuesday and Thursday if needed. but it's single elimination, so it might just be Monday and nothing. You know, heaven forbid. You know,
Yeah.
I hope they make it all the way through and win the whole thing. But so we're just gonna make the helmet last till then, and we're just gonna go get him a new helmet to start the next season with. So he's
Makes
super
sense.
excited about that. And being that Monday is the changeover with my ex-wife, I dropped him off to school. She picks him up from school. And yeah, so we don't actually have to hand off to each other. It's just I drop him to school in the morning. She picks him up from school. Boom, that's the changeover. Well,
hostage
it was
exchange.
it was his birthday. And so I asked her, I was like, hey, you're working, you know, can I just pick him up from, and we had baseball that night. It's like, can I just pick him up from school and spend a little bit of time with him, take him out to get something to eat or something, and then just take him to baseball, and then you can pick him up from baseball when you get out of work. Well, not to get into, because I don't have time for all this. Through having to jump through multiple hoops and argue and fight with her, take pictures of our divorce decrees, like all this random nonsense, just to finally get her to okay it. I got to go pick him up from school, and we took him over to this little yogurt place. She ended up taking off time from work so that she could come. Her mom came, Kara came. Like, we all just sat there and had yogurt together. He enjoyed it. When we got done there, we went and got some food because we still had time to kill before baseball. And then we went to baseball. So we had fun. You know, I hate the negative aspects that she makes it, but we make it work, and the boys get the positive end of it. So we had fun with him yesterday. So that was that with baseball till our game tonight. We'll find out tonight how we do. And this is a team that we murdered once already or twice already, so it shouldn't be a big deal. It really depends on the boys, whether they're showing up to play baseball or whether they're showing up to screw off. So
yeah,
we'll see how they fare. What else we got going on? I believe I talked last time about trying to watch Scream. I had that conversation with you guys, and I had to watch it when my wife was in bed because the horror stuff and all that.
Sorry, I think I just heard Freud calling.
Yeah, gross.
You're the one who said it, not me.
Well, we were talking about my mom, so it just happened. My mom doesn't do horror movies either. But Kara was in bed sleeping, and I watched it. You know, I fell asleep watching it, and it was weird. I'd saved them all onto my watch list: 1, 2, 3, and 4 Scream, and I went back. Like, not the next day, but a couple days later, and all of them were gone except for Scream 4. I don't know what the fuck happened. They're just not available on that platform anymore. Now you have to go rent them from fucking.
Oh, they were literally gone. Like, nobody removed it. They're just literally moved off.
Yeah, they took them off of the app. I think it was Paramount Plus I was watching them on. So my assumption is, as soon as Halloween was over, they just snatched all that shit.
I was about to say, I bet that's exactly what it is.
So I was mad as hell, but I'm like, you left 4 on here. What the fuck you leave number 4 on here? Nobody cares about number 4. I mean, I'll watch it.
Nobody cares about 4. Everybody likes 5.
Yeah.
I heard 5 was
that's the newest one.
Yeah,
is 5 the newest one?
Yes.
Okay, then yeah, that was actually pretty decent. 4 was pretty good too. To me, the weakest is 2 or 3. It depending on how I'm feeling that day.
I'm pretty sure
Scream 1 is damn near perfect.
I've only seen 1 and 2.
Yeah, Scream 1, damn near a perfect movie. Like, you can't do much better than what they did with that movie.
Yeah.
That was Wes Craven reminding everybody why he was the king of horror movies, and it still stands up to this day. It's still fun to watch, even though I know everything that's going to happen. It's still enjoyable.
Yeah, and it teeters between it being straight up horror and like thriller slasher.
Kind of campy, yeah, and thriller slasher. It gets like a lot of psychological suspenseful in there. Like, it really was. It was him going, "Hey, y'all remember me? I'm Wes Craven. This is why I'm the king of this shit." And he just put it out there. And to think that people put what could have been a stupid Ghostface is such a stupid idea. Like, if you think about slasher killers, people that are going to kill you, that's not that scary. Some dude walking around with a hockey mask, some dude, you know, burnt up skin from hell, and another dude walking around with that melted ass Will Shatner mask, like real creepy. Like, these are all kind of creepy things. Ghostface one, kind of stupid. Like, if you just picture it in your head, like, I know it doesn't look that way, but every time I try to picture Ghostface, I picture the scary movie.
I was literally thinking that the one with the tongue. Well,
the tongue hanging out, the tongue hanging out.
Yeah, and they're doing that.
Like the what's up part.
Yeah.
Like,
why?
How, if you ask me to picture Ghostface, that's what I picture.
Yeah. That. Why is it that? Why does that one stick out so much more? Because, I mean, essentially the mask he had on before was almost identical to the one from Scream. Like it's really, really close, slightly goofy.
Yeah, it just had like goofy like features, like a
Yeah.
half smile and shit like that.
But like the stoned one with like the squinting eyes and the tongue hanging out, that's the one that you remember more than
That's
anything.
the one that sticks out, dude. I can't explain it, but that's the one I picture though.
The one thing that's interesting, because I watch a lot of reviews about it, because I watch Hack the Movies, and they'll go through movie reviews and they'll say, okay, which Scream movie was the best, and they'll go over all of them, and then
if any of them say anything besides number one, they're wrong.
I don't remember which one they said, but it's been a while since I watched that. But I like how they talk about how the Scream franchise literally starts making fun of itself by the fourth and fifth one, because like at that point, you know, at one point, what they make a movie about, or they make a whole.
No, that's in number 2.
I know, but I mean, it continues like the movie series.
The movie inside the movie called Stab.
Yeah. So like
it starts in number 2.
Yeah, and then if I remember correctly, in 5 they reference like the latest Stab, and like I think even like the movie poster is like a reference to one of the earlier Scream movies. Like it starts getting so self-aware and self-referential.
It's like meta. It's very meta inside of it. So
exactly.
And then the whole the joke about how do you reboot plus, you know,
exactly, that's the other thing. Yeah, how do you
so they call it like a requel or some crap like that.
Yeah, you get a requel. Yes, exactly. You're doing a sequel reboot. You start over somewhere different with new characters, but pretend it's the same.
But then they were also doing that in the movie,
and then you bring in legacy character. Yeah, you bring somebody. Yeah, and they do the same thing.
Kill off
legacy
character one, and this, that, and
and exactly.
I mean, they've done as an overall franchise, it's still pretty good. Like Saw, I love like the first 3, maybe 4 of them. After that, it kind of goes off the rail.
Yeah, I think
after that, it kind of goes off the rail, like, and gets really like, okay, now we're just here for the blood and guts part of it.
Yeah, it became about the gore, not the story, and then they started wrapping it around to the story again. Later.
And then there's one of the newer ones. I haven't seen it yet. Jigsaw or
the
Spiral or
whatever. There's 2. So Jigsaw is the final. This is supposed to be the final one in the proper
Saw
storyline. Now it doesn't mean in the timeline it's the last. It's just the last proper one. And then Spiral was a spinoff with Chris Rock. That was hard to say.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one.
I heard it was okay.
But that's what I've heard. I heard that one was okay, and Jigsaw was pretty good. So like it was like it did good for a while, then it did shit for a while, then it fixed it at the very tail end, and now this new one's supposed to be pretty good too. And I haven't watched it yet.
Because I think if I remember correctly, Jigsaw is like I could be wrong about which movie it is, but one of them is more about like the cult of Jigsaw. Like it's the people.
I think that's Jigsaw,
where he's like clearly he's been dead since 3. You know, so it's like that whole thing. But like they have all the stuff where like all these things he set up in the background. You get a whole lot of prequels, but then the fun part about the Saw movies is figuring out when they take place. Because what is
in the timeline?
Like was it 3 takes place leading up to 1 or something like that?
3 is happening at the same time as 1.
Yes,
and leads into 2,
and then leads into 2, and then 4 picks up like right after 2 or something like that.
Yeah. Some crazy shit like that.
And then you start seeing, okay, well, this guy was working for Jigsaw all along, or this guy was sympathetic, and then so like there's an interesting twist to it, but then you're right, like story wise, it just goes nuts.
Then all of a sudden, everybody was into Jigsaw.
Yeah,
like by
all of
5
them.
or 6, you know, half the police department's working for Jigsaw.
Exactly.
You're like, y'all need to fucking relax.
I think that was part. Well, I mean, like I think almost every one of the people like either Jason or Michael Myers, something like that. They all have their copycats. They all have their people they inspire, you know, or like sometimes if it's a more supernatural thing, there's literally a cult involved, you know. Speaking of some of the Halloween sequels where things get really stupid.
Yeah. Halloween 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
I still to this day, I don't think I've ever actually watched that movie. I can't remember. If I did, it was a bazillion years ago because I don't remember. I remember the creepy ass song and I remember the little kids. I don't remember much else about it.
Yeah. I've never actually seen any of the Halloweens. I've just seen bits and pieces, but I know everything about them because I watch people like Hack the Movies.
Because of videos.
Yeah, where they talk about it a lot. Especially the Halloween series is one of their favorites. And they talked about...
You like to watch videos like that? Have you ever watched Cinema Sins?
Yeah, I love Cinema Sins.
I love CinemaSins, and every once in a while I'll just go back through and watch their coverage of everything.
Yeah.
And I'll
So
watch like all the ones that go together. Like I won't just randomly choose them. I watch all the Halloween ones. I'll watch all the Star Wars ones. I even take screenshots of them sometimes and send them to Bobby because they'll say something that he usually says. And I'm like, look at these motherfuckers said this. And he'll laugh at it.
yeah. So I don't know if you've seen this, but they've started doing, oh, dang it. They've started doing 10th anniversary resins. So
Yep.
they're going all the way back to their first movies they've seen.
Yeah, I
and
watched a
them.
couple of them.
But then they also doing compilations. So if it's like all of the MCU or all of the
and it's like 2 hours of that. And I'm not like.
But have you ever heard?
Which is ironic because if you broke them all up, I'd probably sit here for 2 hours watching them. But putting them all in 2 hours, I'm like, yeah, that's too much.
So have you ever heard of Birdman or the Birdman?
The one with Keaton?
No, this is a YouTuber. So
So I know Harvey Birdman at Law.
Yeah, no. So the Birdman 15, that's his thing. He throws in some numbers instead of letters. But he cinema sins. So I
have seen that. Like everything wrong with cinema sins.
Everything wrong with everything wrong with. So I follow the Birdman because like he makes some really good points, especially with the fact that they just keep playing a lot of the same nonsense over and over. They sin things they like, or they say they're taking off a sin and they actually end up adding a sin.
Well, it's kind of a running joke.
Well, part of it is a joke, part of it is error. So, and considering that was what CinemaSins was supposed to be doing in the first place, was pointing out errors in movies, like and then all of a sudden they'll just go on a big long tangent about how something. But it's really,
I don't think it was ever supposed to be a legitimate.
It was
something wrong. It's always tongue in cheek because he even does it to movies that the guy says, "I love this movie."
Exactly. So that's the thing is like, because if you go back and watch the earliest ones, and maybe these resins are actually updating the way he does it. So like they would literally say, "Okay, here's this continuity error. Okay, this thing was on the left, now it's on the right." They actually did that kind of stuff.
They still do that. They still do that. Barely. Too.
Yeah, but also that's how they went from a 4-minute video to a 22-minute video.
22 minutes.
So this is why Birdman has a pad in the sin count sin. So literally, like he's adding. I was just watching Birdman because one, I find him really funny, and he's a half black, half Asian guy. He's really funny.
Which has nothing to do with whether
nothing. But like the funny thing is, of course, he makes sins about such things. Okay. Like it's like, was that racist? That might have been racist, ding. Because he comes at it from both sides, being Asian and black, it's actually really funny. And he does like legit pick on them, like even though he does love what they do, he does pick on them. He says that as his disclaimer at the beginning. But the funny thing is, he has to fight the copyright system the same way because he's sinning the same, or he's going over the same footage CinemaSins does. So he has to fight the copyright claims that CinemaSins already fought. And if CinemaSins wants to file a copyright claim on using his footage, it's even funnier. So, but I don't know. I always watch the CinemaSins video and then I'll watch the Birdman associated video.
I don't think I've never gone out of my way for the Birdman ones, but I've seen a few of them because they'll pop in my timeline because they're kind of interconnected.
Yeah, they are.
So they'll pop up on my feed, and if it's a movie I'm interested in, I'll watch it. But if it's just like one of the ones that they just happen to do, and he just happened to make that one, I'm like, I don't care about that movie, so I don't care about what he thinks about what they care about with the movie.
I also watch Cinema Wins as well.
I watched that too. I was just about to say, when I'm feeling like I need some positivity pumped in my life, I watch that dude, and he's been doing a lot of them on video games.
He's recently. Doing well. No, there's Game Wins is a whole different guy. Yeah, so that's
the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, so there's Gaming Wins or whatever that one's called, but then there's Cinema Wins.
Everything great about whatever.
Yeah, but they're unlike the everything wrong with.
He does movies and TV shows too. He doesn't just do games.
No, I mean Cinema Wins only does cinema.
Maybe I watched both of them. I don't know. It's
two different. It's the funny thing is the Wins side is all different people, but on the Sins side, it's all under one banner. So it's like it might be like I watch TV Wins as well, or TV Sins, I should say. And some of those are good, some of those are bad. I think they stopped doing music video sins, or I quit watching them. Either way,
CinemaSins.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, like,
they were doing like commercials and shows.
So they have.
I watch the Rick and Morty one all the time.
Yeah. So that's TV Wins or TV Sins. Sorry. So it's all under the same banner, but on the Wins side, they're all unassociated. So it's like all different creators doing the Win side, but on the Sin side, it's almost all under the Cinema Sins banner. They're just games, music video, TV shows, whatever they sin. It's a separate show under the same banner. So, but on the other side, it's not. They're not connected, which is funny. But I watch all those things. I follow Anime Wins, but I don't watch his stuff anymore. It's like because he's doing shows I don't know. So it's like, I mean, like some of them I'll be like, okay, that's interesting. Let me go see. But also that guy doesn't. He's a little weirder because like the maximum amount of wins he'll give something or sins because he does both. The same guy does both on anime. Is 2. So like he won't have like when something is like really epic, he'll only give it 2 sins or wins depending on.
I love on Cinema Sins when he's like, you know what? I'm tired of talking about this. I'm tired of seeing this shit. Here's 10 billion extra sins.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. And what's funny?
And then I watched one. It was like I guess it was a joke one. Like it might have been like a
April Fool's
Day type thing or something. Like he was. All the shit he would normally send, he was just taking away points. So they were like negative 200 and something fucking points. And at the very end, they did one stupid thing. He's like, well, that just earned back all those sins. And so it ended with 0.
That was April Fool's for sure.
That one was hilarious. I was laughing so hard at that one.
Yeah. But yeah, those are always fun. And I did remind myself that I have been watching anime lately, and I forgot to mention it in my week. So I've been keeping up with the new Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War arc, and I keep forgetting it comes out on Mondays. So like yesterday I forgot, and I watched it last night after the wife went to bed because obviously she's not going to be interested. And I love what they're doing there. It does feel like they're rushing a lot through this first few segments, but like a lot of stuff does happen in a very short amount of time. What?
I'm gonna love this one.
What?
I just got a notification.
Oh,
Cinema Sins. Everything wrong with Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness.
Oh yeah, I watched that earlier.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
I watched it when I got home from work.
I'll be watching that today because I hate that movie anyway. So I'm gonna love it.
Some of his sins are kind of stupid and repetitive. That's it. My biggest thing, and this some Birdman does too, is when he basically sins the same thing over and over, but with different wording. It's like, dude, you already sinned that. Why are you doing it again? That
because they did it again in the movie.
Well,
it's like saying somebody committed murder.
No,
and then committed murder again, but you don't just talk about just the first one.
Yeah, but I mean, like he'll do it in the same scene. Like it's so he'll literally just reword it and basically complain about the same thing in a different way and give it another sin. It's like that's the same sin. Why are you doing it again? For jokes, clearly. But the other
which
thing
is hilarious.
Yeah. So I'm behind on Chainsaw Man. I need to get caught back up on that. I know.
Never watched it.
Pinkerton's been talking about it on Nerd Rage, but
that's one his son likes.
Yeah, he and I started at the same time. It was kind of funny. I'm behind. I'm like 2 episodes behind. I think they're on episode 5 and I'm on episode 3. What was the other thing I watched? Damn it. Oh, the new Gundam series. I started watching it. The Witch from Mercury. So
is it any good?
It's weird.
No, that's a no. All right, cool. So I don't need to waste my time with that.
It's not that it's not good. It's that they're definitely.
All right, everybody listening, refer back to when he was selling me on the Blood Angels,
IBO,
Iron Blooded Orphans, IBO,
Blood Angels.
I almost said ISO.
We're just saying shit.
Yeah,
now.
Blood Orphans, whatever.
ISBs.
But
we're back to Andor.
But go back and listen to that one and hear how excited he was to talk to me about that shit. And then when I just asked him if this one was any good, he went,
Well,
it's not good.
Well, no, here's the hard part about it. They've changed because almost all Gundam follows a certain formula, right? Mm-hmm. Also, if you don't watch the prologue to the show, you're going to be very lost when it starts because that you need all of that information from the prologue. So they should have just made that episode 1, period, instead of like episode 0. So I've gotten three episodes in, and it's weird because like it's gorgeous. I'll give it that. The animation is absolutely beautiful. The music is fine. The voice acting is fine. The action is actually okay for what it is, because it's just 2 robots going at each other. But the story is what's the part I'm lost on. It's just like, this is fucking weird. Like even for Gundam, this is fucking weird. Like the main protagonist is now a female for the first time.
Okay.
Her
hates it already.
Yeah. The other main character is also female. And due to circumstance, they're now engaged. And apparently that's okay. In space, we do whatever we want. That's literally pretty much what the character said outright. When the other character is like, we can't be engaged, we're two girls. And she's like, no, this is space. It's fine. And they're definitely dealing with space racism or spacism. I'm not joking. This is a thing. Because people from Earth are treated like third-class citizens. And if you're from Mercury, then you're treated even worse. So, like, you know, obviously we've got colonies.
So it's the Expanse.
Kind of. Yeah, there's
the
some
belters and whatnot.
Yeah, with belters and whatnot. So now Gundam has dealt with this before between all the way back to original Gundam. It was between the colonies and Earth, but it's because the people from the colonies, the ones in space, were seen as second class, not the other way around. Now, due to the way things have gone, people from space are seen as superior. Anyone from Earth is either a traitor or a lesser or things like that, or trash. And the thing that is interesting is how Gundams came about and why there are none anymore. So they kind of combine a few aspects of different Gundam stories. So they borrow some stuff from Gundam Age. So like Gundams existed, but now they're all gone, and now we have a Gundam for some reason. And then you find out, okay, in the prologue they show you what happened. But then you've got like secret behind the scene clandestine stuff, and then you've got like the extremely racist government that hates anyone who isn't from their particular sector of whatever. And then you've got like the uber elites that are above everyone, and it's one giant corporation that owns everything, which is very alien, you know, like Weyland-Yutani almost, where they own the military, they own all these other smaller corporations, which basically own the planet, all that kind of stuff. And then you've got, you know, all the normal anime stuff, overbearing parents, and then like super supportive parents, and then half robotic people, all kinds of crazy shit like that. But then you have all of our main characters who are actually doing the piloting of mobile suits that are at a dual school. So there, it's very Yu-Gi-Oh! All of a sudden, where now we have quote unquote simulated battles, even though they're definitely not simulated because they're definitely trashing their fucking mobile suits. But like they're on this colony that's supposed to be a school where you go to learn your sciences and you learn to be a pilot or whatever. Basically, it's, you know, some type of military academy, for lack of a better term. But like to settle stuff, they have like mobile suit battles where each one has some type of horn or antenna, and like your goal to win the duel is to take the other person's antenna off. You know, basically knock off their helmet, right? Okay. To a degree. And of course, we get our Gundam, you know, Gundam Ariel. It's not black in this universe; it's actually white.
Racist.
Yeah, I was making a Little Mermaid joke. But and then it fights against the dude who's at the top. You know, he's the top duelist. He's the one who's got the, what do they call it? There's a term for it, and I forgot what it is. So like,
doesn't matter.
But the thing is, because the president of everything runs
the president of everything.
I mean, there's lack of a better term. He's basically the president of everything.
Is his name Zaphod Beeblebrox?
No, but that would be great. He's that big of a douchebag, I'll tell you that. So like his daughter is the other main protagonist. So she's but whoever is the top duelist at the school is automatically engaged to her.
Okay.
So by chance, so like the new girl comes in, you know, our hero comes in with her Gundam, fights this dude in the first episode, and basically destroys his ass, because because Gundams haven't been around in 10 or 12 years. I forget how long exactly. Everybody's always a teenager at the beginning of these fucking shows. And she was like 4, because it was the prologue takes place on her 4th birthday. And that's when they discover her ability to pilot the Gundam, because of course.
Does this fall in line with...
There's no universe in
IBO?
This. No. These are not tied together to anything. So this is another standout universe, which is fine, because none of this shit makes sense anyways. Gotcha. So she beats his ass. Like, he's a top dude. He's a douchebag. And he basically treats his quote-unquote fiance like a piece of property, like not even like a person. Okay. When she tries to escape, our hero accidentally rescues her. You know, she's pissed off. It's like, look, I was literally trying to escape this and get out of here. And she's like, well, I saved your life. He's like, no, you fucked me over. And like, so her fiance comes in and like trashes her whole place to fucking punish her for trying to escape. Because he's a big douchebag. So the thing is, all the top students that are in charge of everything in this school are all yeah, well, I mean, it's a big pile of shit. Are all the kids of the heads of the other parts of the corporation. Like, so if they're if all of them have their own sub companies, so then they're ranked from like 1 to like 151, like it's Pokemon. I didn't even think about that. It was literally, I think it was 151 or 131. That's kind of funny. But either way, and like, so all of the most important people are, you know, if you go back to IBO, like the Yellowhorn, basically all their kids end up ruling in their spot whenever the old guys die. Yeah. So same thing here. So all these kids are training to be the top of their thing. So eventually they take over for whoever. But of course, like Game of Thrones, you get the second most important person engaged to the third most important person to keep the families together and keep them strong, right?
Of course.
So that's realistically what they did.
Gotcha.
Are you moving indoors?
No.
Okay, I was trying to figure out what I just heard. Sound like a door.
No, I was throwing something in the garbage can.
Ah, the garbage can lid. Yeah, okay, either way. So, I mean, like, the story is interesting, but really fucking weird at the same time. Like, and because, like, it deals with a whole lot of, like, oh, we're just at school doing stuff, and then, like, really deep, like, geopolitical stuff. It's just, like, there's a hell of a dichotomy going on with the show, whereas...
So does it have its head up its own ass?
No, because that's, like, Gundam Wing had its head up its ass. It's fine. Like, Gundam Wing is fine for what it is, but it does have its head up its ass. Which is why when 00 came out, which is essentially the same story, but done with better,
without its head up its own ass.
And then IBO is a very serious story, much more in line with Universal Century storytelling. And then this one is like half kiddie, half super adult. So it's
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you now, you have not sold me on this one.
Well, that's because I'm not sold on it. I'm not trying to sell you on it. I'm just telling you about it because, like, I'm 3 episodes in, and I'm like, I don't know where this is going to go. Like,
I know I'm supposed to like it because it's Gundam, but I don't think I can.
Well, I always divide these things, and it's like, of course, everybody just sucks a dick of whatever show comes out so they can buy the kits, and they just get all excited. All the kits are derivative. Like, that's the only biggest problem. Like, all the designs are derivative. The character designs are all derivative. Like, they've got some cool looking stuff. Don't get me wrong. But then when you see how it functions, you're like, okay, well, that's just literally copying this, and this. And it's like, oh, and that looks like this, and this. And then that, okay. And then the fact that they're fighting in a semi-real, semi-holographic world with very similar displays to how the Gundam build universes do. So, like, because they're doing like a game almost, you know, but they're using real mobile suits instead of Gunpla. So, like, they're kind of merging too many different types of Gundam shows, and I don't know if it lands. And I don't know why I should care yet. That's the hard part. IBO, you cared like 2 episodes in. Like, that's the thing. They hooked you with
Jump Street.
Yeah, so they like really hook you in there. 00, pretty similar too. Like, the opening scenes of 00 will pretty much hook you. But like, this is like, I don't know what I'm supposed to care about. Obviously, our hero is meant to do whatever. Like, obviously, if you watch the prologue, you understand the setup. If you don't watch the prologue, then you'll probably be confused. You'll just be like, okay, what? And then it's the Rey problem from Star Wars. Like,
they don't explain her power.
Well, they do and they don't. They don't explain how any of it works. Like, some of the pseudoscience behind it, or the space magic, as we call it. They have not explained any of that yet. They will eventually, but usually that's like first episode stuff, how they explain how stuff does things. You know, there's one long exposition dump. But in this one, it was just like, okay, we now know that this is what happens if you don't have the ability to use this system, but we don't know why anyone has the ability to use the system, or why anybody's better than anyone else. So the whole reason they got rid of the Gundams is because the Gund system was the way that, like, you can connect to the Gundam, like, mentally. very much like the AV system from IBO. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine that the system was wide open, but you could only connect so far to it. And it had a feedback issue that would literally destroy your body if you fucked it up. So like,
So it has a bunch of firewalls, and some people can get past
well,
some of them,
it's
but
not even like
all
a
of them.
firewall thing, it's how responsive you are to it.
Mhm.
Like, because like it is a sensory feedback thing, like you're literally connected to it, it is feeding the info directly to you.
Mhm.
And people can only go so far, and there are physical ramifications. Like people lose limbs and shit. Like I don't mean like what happened to Mika, where he's like basically
Mhm.
half paralyzed. No, this
Yeah, the
shit like
stroke thing.
destroys you. Like
Oh, okay.
like people died piloting these things just because like it burned you out from the inside. So
Gotcha.
whenever the main character, whose name I don't care about right now,
We'll just call her Ariel.
yeah, well, the Gundam's name is Ariel, but the main character has red hair,
Mm.
red hair, blue eyes. She does look like Ariel now that I think
Mm.
about it. That's funny.
Mm.
And she's called a witch. Oh, so they
Mm.
call anyone who can pilot a Gundam a witch because of the quote
course.
unquote space magic. But the thing
Mm.
is, since all Gundams are supposedly destroyed, whenever she shows up in it, it's not called Gundam Ariel, it's just called Ariel. And so when she goes through her first battle, they shut everything down immediately after they see what it can do. So like the ability to like control what they call bits, or it's like little
Too much.
drones.
It's too
Basically,
much.
well, it's their version of drones. So usually they're called bits, funnels, or something else. Something you mentally control and fly around outside of your Gundam. Usually weapons.
Right.
So no one else has that ability to this degree, especially when it's a pilot doing it versus the system doing it. So when she does it, they immediately shut everything down, arrest her, lock down the Gundam and everything else like that. And she has to literally fight for her freedom and the ability for her Gundam to exist. Which sounds exciting, but it's not. That's the problem. So like, and I don't know how more Gundams are going to come up in this series unless there's other people who've been hiding them somehow, because they can't develop the technology anymore. They made it illegal to do anything like that.
That's never stopped anybody before.
This is true, but when you own most of them, when you literally own most of the manufacturing base, it's a little difficult. So like they revamped the Gundam they stole in the prologue, as far as I can tell, because I don't think that Gundam ever comes back. So they basically almost like remember when in IBO when the one Gundam gets redressed and they call it something else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so basically it's going to be like that. They're basically, as far as I can tell, it started out as the Gundam Lefrith. Don't ask, that's the way it was spelled, Lefrith, like it has an L in front of an F, and we're supposed to pretend that's a word. And then it comes back with the same abilities, but looks very, very different. And like there was like a basic Gundam, like they all kind of looked exactly the same, except for the Lefrith, which had all the extra parts, like all the bits and shit. So we see like all the Gundams get wiped out at the beginning, and except for that one, then they escape. And so it comes back as Ariel, as far as I can tell. Now there's supposed to be more Gundams in this series, so we'll see what happens. But like some of the designs are really stupid, and so we'll see what happens. I don't know. I'll give it time, but I'm not giving it like a whole review series like I used to do. I'll talk about it here, but that's about it.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, I mean,
I was muting for a second. The wind was picking up like crazy.
yeah, you're fine. You're fine. I just, I don't know what to feel about it. Like I laughed at a couple spots that were meant to be funny. The battle was actually pretty cool, but like
You just don't care.
the second battle, like where they stepped things up, was really kind of stupid because like she gets to jump back in. They're gonna rebattle. Like they neutralized the first battle and said, nope, those stakes didn't matter. We didn't lose our place. Nothing else happened. We're gonna battle again. And this time, Daddy pulls out all the fucking stops, gives his son the most advanced mobile suit they have, and cheats on top of it in two different ways. So they, when I said if you're not cheating or you're not winning, if you're not cheating, that came from
If you're
there.
not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. They literally say that because apparently there's a fire suppression system built in to the battlefield, and if you have it on high enough, it'll actually stop beam weapons. So like at one point, the dude's groupies go and turn on the fire suppression system, so now the Ariel no longer has its long range advantage, and he's got all close range weaponry. So his shit isn't affected, but hers is. Not to mention, he discovers that he's not even piloting the thing; it's on an AI controlled
Autopilot type
system.
thing.
Yeah, so his dad installed an AI system that was supposed to help, but instead it completely took over. So he realized he's moving the controls and it's not following him at all. So he just lets go and sits back with his arms crossed. It's like, dude, you don't even have enough honor to give a shit that this thing's gonna win a battle without you. And like, it's not till the end that he says fuck this, and like he realized, like, wait a minute, no, I don't want to win like this. This is horse shit. And so he smashes the control system and then takes over. And she can tell, is like, whoa, he's totally acting different now, you know. So that part's kind of fun, but it's like, okay, we're starting out with the stuff we usually don't get to until way later. So where does this show go?
Yeah, they gotta escalate.
It's like, how do you escalate when you've blown your?
What if they reverse it? They blew all their load
get
at the front
shittier
just to go slow at the end.
I wouldn't doubt that. I could pull some nonsense like that. I don't know how the show's gonna go. Like, they haven't dumped a whole lot of stuff on us. We've just seen the mobile suit designs. Usually they give shit away like really early, Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah. So Andor.
Andor.
No segue.
That's a segue.
So another space drama that's actually worth the damn.
Oh yeah. God, it just keeps getting better. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me how this show is actually getting. Like I said it before, and it's like, if like on a 10 scale, I'm just making this number up. If they said it, if the first episode was an 8, no show has fallen below an 8 yet. Everything is either 8 or higher. Like, it set a bar that is just not dropped below.
Oh yeah,
at all.
Especially if you're saying
the way.
Especially if you're saying the first episode was an 8, because it was not. Like,
no, I'm just saying that as a number. Like, it's just they set that number and they've never dropped below it. If the first episode was the worst episode, no other show has been levered.
Yeah, no episode's been worse than the first 3, and the first 3 weren't.
And they
bad.
were fine.
Yeah. It's like, the problem is like, and this is the argument I've been having online about Andor, and you've seen it in the Realm, we've seen it on other shows. Excuse me. I've seen it in my own comment section. When I praised after last week's episode, I praised it on my YouTube channel.
Oh, that comment from the dude.
And then
okay. That guy, was that Will?
No, that was Anthony. Longtime subscriber.
In his response.
Yeah, and I sent it to Bobby, and we actually talked about Andor for a long time on Saturday, Bobby. And I always feel bad because I know he's gonna be he should be doing something, and I'm texting him, so like I feel bad when I bother him. But I felt like whenever he talked about,
I work for the guy, and I feel bad when I text him or call him.
well, it's funny. Remember when he said, "Has anyone ever texted you while you were masturbating in the last marriage?" No, I feel like that was me.
Oh,
I feel
I
like
thought you were going to say that was you.
I have no confirmation, but I felt like he was talking to me.
Would you really want that confirmation though?
I mean, for shits and giggles, I might, like, just for the fun of it.
Know that
dude,
Bobby answered you one-handed while he slow stroked his skull face. No, thank you.
I mean, I'm sure we've all done it.
Know that.
I'm sure we've all done it. However,
you don't know I'm not doing it right now, but what I'm saying is I don't want to know.
I'm pretty sure I'd be able to hear it.
Nope, I have a mute button.
Yes, but not when you're talking, you don't.
That's true.
But either way, this episode again just escalating. Like, one, we find out that Val or whatever is Mon Mothma's cousin.
Mama's sister. I thought it was sister.
Cousin.
Yeah.
So like, she's still trying to get her money, and now they find out that the ISB is watching everyone's monetary transactions to see who's moving money where. So like, it's so funny. Oh, and then dude, okay, the interrogation scene with Dedra.
Dude, I'm glad that they did not play us that, because
dude, hold on, but
I want to hear it, but I don't want to hear it.
Exactly. So the story, I just got goosebumps. The storytelling. So they literally are torturing Bix, right? That's her name, Bix. And they want information on everybody else that she could possibly know in the network. They're trying to track down Luthen. They don't know who he is, obviously. So they're trying to push her for information, and apparently the Empire found this particular species, when dying, lets out these particular screams that have an effect on anyone who hears them, and they killed enough of these people and recorded and tuned it to the perfect torturing device.
Well, not just that, they
the
killed
children.
the kids.
I know,
and
it's like
recorded the children.
Yeah, and then they still, and like the whole time they tell you this ridiculous story, and we already see the guy who previously got tortured got a little fucked up.
It was like all slobbering on himself.
Yeah, like literally, it looks like they gave him a lobotomy. And so he pulls out this contraption. It's basically like headphones and a helmet.
It's an Oculus.
Well, yeah, backwards. It's a backwards Oculus. And they put it on her head, and then it's just silence.
From our end.
It's like the whole time they build it up.
Her reacting to it.
And then she screams. And like the whole time you're expecting to hear this sound. You have this sound built in. And dude, it's like the horror movie thing. Tell, don't show. They literally told you about a sound that is so terrifying that it will break your brain if you hear it, and the longer you hear it, the worse it is for you.
Yeah.
Like, and you are expecting to hear the sound. You have so much tension, and then you don't get the sound. You just get the terrified scream of the person who is hearing it.
Dude, like, I wish I was really good at like doing like gifts and shit like that. Like I would do one where they went to do that, and then overlay Dumb and Dumber, the most annoying sound.
Oh, you mean Jessica's fart from the other weekend?
No, whatever that shit Jim Carrey does in that
you don't remember that conversation where I said that she let out a fart that sounded exactly like that?
Yeah, that would be funny to me to have that over the top of it.
Actually, you know what would be even funnier? Not just that noise, but make it whenever almost said Marv, wrong movie. What is it? Not Harry. Who's the other one? Lloyd. No, yeah, Harry, not Lloyd. Okay. So whenever he has to shit really bad in the broken toilet, take just the diarrhea noise and put that over that instead. And she starts screaming whenever he's doing the fart.
I know you didn't laugh as hard as I did, but I found that meme that I sent to the group.
Oh yeah,
so when somebody took it and they superimposed on the thing that she was going to be listening to She-Hulk.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I was laughing so hard as soon as I saw it. I was like, this is definitely going in the group message.
I'm surprised nobody made a nerd rage one.
I would hunt them people down.
That would be funny. Anyway, but no, just the tension. Like this show is amazing. Like the last show that gave me this much, I felt so tense in watching it was Ozark. Like
Ozark. Oh my God, Ozark got all kinds into my head.
Like it gets in your head. The tension is real. Like you feel uncomfortable. You feel weird. And talking about feeling uncomfortable and awkward, when what's his face tracked down Dedra and was waiting for her outside the ISB to talk to her, and then he gave whole crazy speech and was licking.
She's like, why are you touching me?
And he am I imagining things, or did he lick her hand? He did something weird. What did he do?
He sniffed her hand.
He did something really weird. Like, we already knew this guy was a little weird somehow. Like there's something weird in there, and now he's like absolutely in love with her because of the way that one, she fixed his career.
Because she's after the same guy he's after, which is a weird reason.
That, and she gave him a reason for being again. It's just dude, you got problems. But if you watch that interaction, there was a moment where she's like, ooh. Like she was on board for a couple seconds, and then she flipped. And just oh, she's totally gonna get with him at some point. And it's gonna be very or maybe
she's gonna be very clinical about it, and he's gonna be very into
you know how that would their relationship would culminate will be when she has his mom disappeared. And then he will just be perfect. He already has the makings of being a serial killer. He's got the he's already oddball. He's already weird. He's got
he reminds me of the one who plays the dad in Back to the Future, but the one with that movie Rats. Did you ever see that?
No, but I know of it.
Oh my God, creepy, uncomfortable creepy.
Yeah, but he's also because he's got the overbearing mom that he can't stand, but unfortunately has to rely on right now. Also, I totally want that little cereal box, because that's just a cool little cereal box thing that he pours in, which apparently is some type of, I think, Trix. It's like a very specific type of tricks from like a few years ago.
Mhm.
And it's actually like a very specific color, like purple and blue berry from that cereal they made to do this in the blue milk. But like
Mhm.
I was watching one, is it a Screen Crush or one of the ones I watched where they're talking about the episode, and it was on Screen Crush, and they actually had one of the writers for Star Wars come on as an interviewee to talk about it, and said like his characterization where like he's doing better now, especially after she helped him get the promotion, to where
Mhm.
like at one point like his mom's bitching at him and he slurps his cereal louder to get her to shut up.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
I was like, that's subtle, but that is exactly what he did. Like
Yep.
he's not in a position of power when he's there with his mom, but he does the little things that he can to maintain that, you know.
Yeah, he's rebelling back against her,
Yeah,
which
he
is
fucking
ironic because he's trying to stop a rebellion, even though he's doing his own miniature rebellion.
yeah, yeah. It's just like like this past episode. I can't wait till tomorrow. Like I'm looking forward to Wednesdays when I get off work, so I can just come home and watch Andor. Um, it just it's. I know we praise it basically every single week, but this last episode and now,
Until they give me a reason not to, I'm going to.
yeah, and like everything that happened in the prison in this go around, like where Andor's literally like on it. He's like trying to get this, trying to, you know, set the record to where they're actually at the top. And then we finally see what happens to the people at the bottom. We were always told what happens to people who rank last on the floor, and they have to go to the square at the end of shift. And then the whole squad gets fucking electrocuted. And then we see like the same thing. Like it you know, it's a very Chekhov's gun situation. Like we're told what happens in your rankings, and we finally get to see it. Like they're finally a higher rank, and they actually get flavor in their food. And then he actually talks shit, I think, to Andy Serkis's character because like they're a little bit lower, so he didn't get flavor. He just got protein, you know, or whatever. And he said something about it. Not to mention, you know, they're working on their whole escape thing. Or maybe that was last episode. We were talking about how the elevator isn't electrified except for the
Oh,
floor.
that's this one.
Okay.
Well, that I think they were talking about it more on the last one. They were trying to put it into place in this one. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know. They kind of blend.
Oh, he
Because
was he
it
was
does a
trying to
great
get
job.
he was trying to get Andy Serkis on board. He's like
Yeah,
yeah, he's
how
finally
many
how many guards?
on each
And he's like,
floor?
I
And he's
can't
like
tell
each
you.
time he's like, shut up,
Yeah.
shut up.
You got
Dude,
violent
that
with
little
him,
switch at the end, man.
dude.
Oh my god.
Everything that happened with the old guy, like the whole episode where he's turning redder and he, you know, his hands aren't working and they're having to make up for it, and then like they're end of shift in the hallway and they're like, you got to make it through one more shift. You got to make it through one, or well, I think it was like 4 more shifts, but either way, or
They
40.
still had like 40 shifts.
Yeah, like
or some
40
shit like that.
shifts.
But they were just, instead of telling them the long game, you just got to make it back to your bed right now.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you give yourself the small, easily achievable
Yeah.
goals instead of the long goal.
And then we hear, or will we see that like the power shuts off for some reason, and then it comes back on, and then everyone starts panicking in the hallways, going in and out. And then I love the sign language network. And like
I wish they explained it more while it was happening.
Yeah, because it's, well, I think it's one of those things where they show don't tell. So like they show him, or the one guy who's signing, communicating with another hallway, you know, as far over as you can see. What you don't realize is it's a zigzag network starting at the bottom and telling the news. And Andy Serkis's character, it's like, it doesn't matter how much you wave your hands, there's such a time delay from what happens at the bottom to here, it almost doesn't matter. So it's a game of telephone with the sign language just back and forth across the prison until it gets to you at the higher level, you know. And so like so something happened on level 2, but nobody knows what. And then, dude, like all of that
days,
mystery,
like days, they didn't know what had happened.
Yeah, so like a couple days later, they finally find out what happened on level 2, where they had wiped out everyone on the shift because there was a revolt. Like somebody, what?
It wasn't a revolt. They were all going crazy because some guy had said he had been.
Yeah. Oh, that's
floor.
right. Well, yeah, that's what it was. So what happened is somebody came in.
It wasn't that he revolted. He came in and said that he had
but
been
that's
on
what it. But that's what it was. They said, yeah,
and they killed him so they wouldn't revolt.
Yeah, but then everybody else revolted. Like, so everybody on that floor said what, and then they freaked out, and then they started trashing the floor and rising, and then that's when they did it.
That's not what they said.
Yeah, it is.
They said they transferred him over.
Yeah, so the guy comes
as soon
in.
As somebody realized he was from a different floor, they just smoked.
No, they recognized him. They had seen him.
Because he was supposed to be freed.
He was already supposed to have been freed, and
which is crazy if you think about it. That means everybody who's ever been freed. I think that's what was the big trigger.
Yeah.
For Circus is everybody that they've thought that's ever been freed has really
just gone to another
to a different floor.
Yeah. Then the numbers are literally meaningless. And look, because remember, he got mad when the dude said numbers don't matter. Just focus on the work.
So you're just gonna work until you die.
Just work until you die, or they kill you. You know, or you give them a reason to kill you, or you die on your feet. And that's what happened to the old man. And then when the quote unquote doctor comes in, who's also a prisoner, basically like analyzes him, is like, well, he had a massive stroke. Ain't nothing we can do for him. And then he just basically euthanizes him.
Mercy
right there.
kills him. Yeah.
More or less. I mean, he definitely felt that. Unfortunately, he felt that. But he couldn't respond, and so he dies right there. And he's like, "It doesn't matter if you die right here, right there." And then they finally get him out of him. What happened on floor 2, and then that's when Andy Serkis is like on board.
They're getting up walking away,
and then
the last. So how many guards?
He said, "I don't even think he asked him. I think he flat out just told him there are 12 guards per floor."
No, I think he says, so how many guards on each level? Yeah. And he's like 12.
I don't remember if I'll have to go back and rewatch it, but I don't remember if he asked him or because he had asked him so many times, he just answered him because not to let him know he's on board. But either way, it's just like, okay, so we're probably going to see them make their escape run next episode.
I don't know. I think it's going to be, I think the next episode is them finalizing the plan, and the final episode of the season will be the one where they actually escape.
I mean, considering we get so many time skips in this, like, I mean, we're like a month or two later, something like that. I think more than 30 shifts have gone by since the beginning.
Yeah, because he's like on day 60 or some shit.
Yeah,
like that.
so it's been a minute.
Months, yeah.
Well, then again, that's on our time schedule. We don't know how long their months technically are.
It's really great. And speaking of how we perceive stuff, I was listening to the new episode, of course, of NRR. Okay. And
I haven't listened just yet.
They were talking about how they aren't shown that many aliens like in this series. Like you see them in pockets, but it's not like other Star Wars stuff where every third being is an alien or some weird looking creature. And they like it. They're not complaining about it. They're just saying they wish they could see more aliens. And then I want to say it was Chris, I could be wrong, was like, think about it, they're in that prison and there's not one single alien. They haven't shown a single alien in that prison yet. They're all humanoid.
They're all
people.
Humans. They are human. Yeah.
And it made me, they never really came to a consensus on it, but I thought about it while they were saying it, and it makes sense in the story because if you remember when Cassian went to prison,
they sorted
when he got found and convicted, they sent him straight to a jet and said, or a spaceship and said, "You're going to this place."
Yeah.
They're sorting them.
There's
some other prison that is just all aliens with no humans around.
The other thing
makes sense because of their food processing, their breathe stuff. They can breathe and can't breathe. Yep. Their sleeping habits, like all those things would be different. So instead of building a prison that had multiple different ways to handle all that stuff, they would just build a prison that handles everything one way and then just sort the people to that.
And they went by your home world so that they could basically know where to send you. So you're going to the human prison, you're going to the Wookiee prison, you're going to the Nikto prison, whatever. And that 100% makes sense, and the Empire would 100% do this, like, because if you guys don't know,
it makes sense.
There's not a lot of non-humans working for the Empire. Like
there's none.
Yeah. If there's Thrawn
wasn't.
He's not human.
He's post Emperor.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like,
no, because technically he was in Rebels.
He's in Rebels.
That's a weird one.
But that's
because even Bobby talks about the Emperor is very xenophobic.
He is, but it's because of Thrawn's capabilities and his people's capabilities is the only reason they allow somebody to get that high that is non-human. But he's human enough. Let's be honest. He's just a blue skinned, red-eyed human, more or less. But super xenophobic. And like, it's when you're on the Outer Rim worlds where you really, I guess in any other main world you do see a lot more aliens. I mean,
like Coruscant and stuff. You see a bunch.
But even on Coruscant, and mind you, it's a budgetary thing. We saw more aliens in the first few episodes rather than now. But everything else we're dealing with, like you said, is either straight up imperial, or like essentially it's everything we're seeing is because it's around the Empire directly. Like, we're not on some alien world. We're not on Tatooine where there's a lot of
Thank God.
There's a lot of native Tatooiners around. Shout out Bobby.
Yeah.
Because
I'm so glad there's so little sand in this show.
Oh God, everything seems wet. Even well, technically, even the prison planet they're on is in the prison's in the middle of the ocean, so they can't escape. So
They're just
it's like the
inside.
raft. It's like the
Yeah.
raft in Marvel. So, oh God, we mentioned Marvel. Sorry, Will. We're not allowed to talk about. According to Will, we're not
I
allowed
talk about
to.
whatever I want.
And by the way, I didn't go over comments and stuff. I'll do that more when we have our whole cast.
Oh, we can do that now.
No,
we got time.
Well, we do have a topic, but it's a well, we don't have a whole.
Save
lot
the
of time.
topic for when we have everybody.
Okay, we can do that. So
run through comics. Fuck Dormammu.
I'd rather not.
I mean, I don't know. He's got a cute face.
Don't swing that way. Okay, so let me see here. Let me make sure which. Okay, so there was definitely Will asking us to stop having the Marvel conversation over and over.
Well, unfortunately, it was while we were talking about a Marvel show that was coming out weekly. So
yeah, I mean yeah. So
where's the comment telling us to stop talking about Star Wars?
Well, we're not fighting over Star Wars. He's just mostly pissed off that he's just pissed off that we're arguing back and forth over and over about it.
Oh, so he just wants an echo chamber where everybody agrees it's awesome. Got it.
No, I think he's just tired of hearing the same argument over and over, which makes sense.
Okay, good. She-Hulk is trash.
Yep.
He agreed. Y'all heard it. It's recorded.
Nope, just didn't fight. Okay, let's see here. I'm making sure what's an old comment, what's a new comment. There we go. Okay. So that was the only real comment on episode 30. And then the funny thing is that I don't know if you saw. Well, did you see this? Yeah, you did because you replied. So I like what Dormammu said. Do what I do, just hum really loud. And then I said, "Is that what that noise is?"
No, we blame it on his microphone. It's just him humming.
Yeah, he's actually just humming, so he doesn't hear us.
Mom and Dad are fighting again. Sitting in fetal position, rocking in the corner.
That actually sounded a lot like him. You need to do a good impression of him. All right, on the Alex Jones and Alec Baldwin conversation from episode 30, this one guy that I've never heard of, I don't know if he's a subscriber or a newbie, commented, "So it's like that?" I figured with an exclamation point, and I said, "Like what?" And so he said, delayed reply, there were other quote-unquote comments that were quote-unquote removed, deleted, omitted, canceled.
Oh, he was commenting to a comment that isn't there anymore.
Is that what it was?
That's what it sounded like he's saying.
No, I think he left. I think he left a comment that got delayed or got removed. But the thing is like, so he said, that's why my comment that remained was structured in such a way. Maybe it wasn't you who burned them. It was too bad. Because if it was a comment to a comment that got removed, everything below it would get removed.
Yeah, everything goes away.
Yeah. So the thing is like, I'm going to assume that he left a comment, or I guess YouTube someone else did, and YouTube nuked it. And they've been doing that a lot lately, even in the chat.
Yeah, they've been getting crazy.
And like sometimes it doesn't even matter what word you use, as in the context. Because Will actually had a comment censored in my live stream the other day when we were talking politics. And the thing is, he didn't even curse. It's just the context of what he said. YouTube nuked it midstream.
Yep.
And so I replied to this guy that YouTube is thoroughly restricting comments now. That's getting worse. And, you know, if I get the ability to approve it, obviously I'll read through it. If it's nothing terrible or attacking anyone or just porn bots, I'll usually approve it so that everybody can see whatever you said. And if they want to reply to it, they can, you know, even if it hurts my feelings sometimes. But if it's like, some pretty violent rhetoric or something like that, I'll usually won't put it back out there. So. But because
YouTube's just cutting it out.
Yeah, but because if YouTube is doing it, I have no ability to change that.
And if you put any links or anything in there, they kill it.
Links, I have the ability to approve those.
Okay, allow those.
Yeah, so I usually block links for obvious reasons. And Mike was commenting as well because he wasn't.
Mike?
Yeah, our Mike commented. So he said, simply put, Alec Baldwin is a liberal, which equals leniency. Alex Jones, he said, is a patriot, equals sue, cancel, bury, take away his livelihood, etc. Makes perfect sense. However, Dormammu is wrong about Alex Jones and what happened to these families, with due respect. Also, Alex did not say it didn't happen. He said it looked like a false flag, but he might be wrong. And that's and I replied to him. I said he called them crisis actors. So when it came to that kind of stuff, there was some denial that Sandy Hook ever happened and that it was faked as a false flag attack to get people's reaction, and that the families and like the quote unquote survivors, I'm just saying to paraphrase him, were all crisis actors. So like they're just hamming it up to make things bigger, and it never happened in the first place. Now, whether he used the words "it didn't happen," that was what basically how he implied very early on, until he got his head out of his ass and corrected himself and apologized a million times over. Like, you can only do so much once the damage is done, right? So, and then Mike replied, correct. He thought they might be. However, they almost all out of hold on. However, almost all of the harassment was false stories by the media accusing Jones of such actions, which was proven false. Now, that I don't know. So the thing is that even Alex himself has talked about people who have harassed the families, due to his, things he said. Now, how much of that happened versus people accused of it happening and all these other things, I don't know that offhand. I know what I know, but I don't know everything. But if the whole point of the conversation was, because, just like we talked about over and over with Alec Baldwin, you said that Alec Baldwin shouldn't be held accountable just because he's got the deepest pockets, right?
Wrong. I did not say that.
No, I'm saying
I said he shouldn't be held more accountable.
That's what I said.
Else.
Yeah, he shouldn't. That's what I just said. He shouldn't be held more accountable because he's got deeper pockets.
Yes.
So in this case, with Alex Jones, because they knew that he made money, whether or not it's specifically on the backs of these things, or just because he has a company that does things and he talked about shit on the news, they try to tie it all together, and therefore, he made money, therefore we go after him, even though there's a lot of other people who would have repeated that. I mean, as far as I know, they're not even going after the people who were doing the actual harassing of the families. So assuming that was all correct and the families were harassed by actual people, online or in person, however you want to say it, those people, as far as I know, aren't being held accountable. They're just going after Alex Jones, who has the deepest pockets. Even though he has apologized, even though he has paid millions of dollars, their ultimate goal was to make sure that he could never do any of it again. They even said in court, make sure he can never make a dime at this again. Destroy everything he has. Take away everything he has. It's like at some point you're going beyond the incident that happened and you're just trying to destroy someone. And I think that's where we way crossed the line when it came to that. But that's why we have the Supreme Court to make different judgments on those kind of things. Because obviously you can't charge an individual $2 trillion fucking dollars that doesn't have it. That's impossible. And he was smart. He moved all his money. Like, he didn't have that much money, but he moved all his money. Gave it to his kids, sunk it into other companies that were unrelated so that he, couldn't all be taken away. Because otherwise they could literally just bleed him dry. So that's just a smart move. Everybody does that. Corporations do that all the fucking time. They keep their money offshore. They invest it in other things. Also that they don't have to give it up when it comes to whatever, taxes or anything like that.
So really off subject.
Sure.
Because I just got a notification.
Another notification.
Pre-orders are going live on the 9th for the Mezco Power Rangers. You getting them? No.
I don't need any more Power Rangers. Sure as hell don't need to pay Mezco prices.
Well, they're not horrible for Mezcos.
I mean, I have $20 Power Ranger figures that I'm perfectly happy with.
These are definitely going to be better than those.
Oh, I'm not saying they're going to be better. I'm just saying I've got what I need. I just got what I need. There's no point to buying multiples of the same thing in just a different form. For me, even with my Transformers, I don't necessarily do that. Unless it's a completely different representation, like the different Grimlocks, that kind of stuff. Different versions of Prime versus buying how many different versions of G1 Prime. There's one more comment though. It's from Laura on the same one. It says, very interesting conversation. I enjoy intelligent sharing of views without hate and ugliness. Damn, my throat's giving up.
She new to the show?
No, she's the one who has all our merch. Yeah, so thank you for all that. I believe you.
We do appreciate you.
Yes. So it says, I believe that you cannot pick and choose which Americans receive their constitutional rights and which don't. I mean, that's what the courts can do. Unfortunately, the current hypocrisy is out of control. The mainstream media is daily spreading the hate against those who they feel do not have the correct opinion. It's blatant and out of control. The media and current Democratic leaders have drawn a line in the sand, and on one side is democracy and the correct way to think, and on the others are racist, fascist, Nazi, privileged, entitled large chunk of the country. That sentence went in a weird direction.
People like to use hot button words, man. People misuse Nazi too much, man.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
I hate how much that sentence is used, that term is used, because one, it takes away the power of the evil of what that actually was.
Mm-hmm.
It's insulting to 13 million people that were literally murdered and wiped off the face of the earth by people who toted that thing.
Yeah. Well,
people are not being murdered by some group of fascist people nowadays.
No, not. So that's her point, though. They are purposely misusing the word Nazi to associate, basically conservative people to that, and their main reasoning behind that, from what I can tell, is that Nazi basically was under the assumption of the nationalist party. So when people actually use the word nationalist, they associate to Nazi. It's like, well,
nationalism was around before Nazis.
I'm aware of that.
Around post Nazis.
I know. I'm aware, but this is their argument.
I understand.
You're making the correct.
I'm saying it into the ether.
Yeah, you're making the correct argument.
It's not fair.
It's
I'm
not
saying
fair.
Towards her or towards you. It's not. It's not fair to those people who lost their lives and to their families who lost loved ones.
Yeah.
To keep just using that term so willy nilly.
No, it is for a very specific. Yeah, it's for a very specific use. I mean, like, obviously to call they use the word fascist wrong. They call people like you and me fascist. It's like,
we're not really, because fascist is a totalitarian state, and we definitely don't live in that.
No, we also don't participate in that.
No.
Well, I mean,
we're also not a communist society.
Nope.
That would be.
They're trying. They're trying like hell to make things communist. Okay,
communist monarchy, parliamentary.
Yeah, exactly. Authoritarian. I mean, like when they say fascism, they're meaning authoritarian. But the funny part is that everyone screaming fascism are usually the side that is authoritarian in the first place. So it's like
they'd be surprised how close they are to the actual definition of things they're saying they're railing against.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why the concept of Antifa is even stupider, because the guys who are supposed to be quote unquote anti-fascist are literally fascist. But
it's kind of like I think you and I talked about it before, the binary, non-binary, and they've created a binary system by saying that. So now everybody's either binary.
Yeah, which it's like, yeah, you're either binary or you're not.
Yeah. You just made it a binary system, so that makes us all binary.
No, it's a trinary system, because you're either male or female or non-binary. It's like,
it's a trinary. Like, we're trying to make up a term to make ourselves feel special.
Yeah. You can try,
binary means two.
You can try, but nary will you find the definition.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
I just always think that's funny. I mean, I get it. I don't have any problem against people. We've had that conversation. I don't have any problem with it. It's just how people use words and terms and not understanding their meanings, and that's why I bring it up.
We just
using binary and non-binary. You've created a binary system, so you're still not using the correct terminology.
Yeah, and to live within a binary system and declare yourself outside of that binary system is also ridiculous.
You've just created a binary system.
Well, I mean,
one that's in it and one that's out of it. It's still a binary system.
I'm in my own system, not yours.
So that's still a binary system.
Can I
system in our system?
Yeah, exactly. You're just making more binaries. You're making smaller and smaller binaries, and then you tell two friends, and they tell two friends.
The power of the pyramid cannot be stopped.
Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Identity politics is actually a pyramid scheme. Actually, that makes so much more sense. Okay, so let me finish her comment real quick. We're trying not to offend anybody, but guess what? All right,
we're trying not to, but we're going to. See, binary systems.
Yeah. See, we're anti-offensive. That's what it is. We're anti-offensive.
By being offensive, so we're a binary system.
Exactly. So, all right, let me finish her comment. All right, so I couldn't agree more about the toxicity of social media and the free reign of hate it spews. But the consequences of those negative influencers should be the same on both sides of that line. And then thanks, guys, and thumbs up and smiley face.
We appreciate you, Laura.
Yeah,
That's the one who had the tank top, right?
Yes, and she's got a couple mugs, and she just got a hoodie. She got a unnecessary base face hoodie.
Did she get a doof shirt?
I don't think she has a doof shirt, but I always thought it was funny about the doof thing is because it only applies to us or other creators.
But that's why it's funny if anybody else wears it.
I guess that's true. That's true.
See, that's a binary system.
Yeah. So like we're attacking all our non-binary friends here.
No, I'm not attacking anybody. I'm just pointing out that they're mislabeled themselves.
Which
I'm all good. Y'all do you and live your world. Remember my mantra. Just don't be an asshole. That's it. And ironically, I'm an asshole saying that's my mantra. So I've already created my own binary within my binary system. Yeah.
And the one thing I thought about this earlier today, and this kind of goes for everybody, especially with the heated tensions between everything. And of course, today is election day for the midterms, and I'm sure it's not going to be an absolute mess for the next week.
So happy tomorrow when my Facebook goes back to semi-normal.
Shit, it's not going to be over. It's never going to be over. But the one thing I looked at it, I was like, what? Because the way people react to a lot of these things is emotional, not logical or anything. Most of it is just going off of pure emotion, and
that and mob mentality.
That too. But what I was thinking about,
driven by emotions.
Yeah, it's true. So when I think about this, especially with the friends I've lost because of said difference of political opinions and stuff, it's like, just because I don't believe in what you believe doesn't mean I want to destroy what you believe.
Exactly.
But the mentality of the other side is I have to destroy what you believe in because you don't believe in what I believe in. Yep. And that's the biggest difference in the world today. It used to just be, hey, we don't agree. We either don't talk or we just call it even and we have a beer. Now it's leave me alone, it's like, leave me alone. Thank you. Or I will destroy you. It's like, those are the two sides. It's like, what I'm doing with my life should never matter to your life. And your life should never matter to my life unless I choose to be involved. You know what I mean? Like on a personal level, like what you do in your house is on you. What I do in my house has no effect on what you do in your house. So why do you need to attack me because of what I'm doing in my house or what you are doing in your house? It's like just because I don't agree with you or I don't believe the way you believe doesn't mean I think you're evil. It doesn't mean that I need to take anything from you.
It just means we think
just means we think differently. And that's one reason why when I lost my particular friend, the main thing that went off about it was literally like, why? Because the whole comment was a whole thing about using pronouns. It said if you don't use my proper pronouns, that's hate speech. And so I replied, why does it always have to be about hate? Why can't it just be a difference of opinion? And to me,
ignorance. It could be an ignorance to it too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like sometimes, obviously, like if you don't know, you don't know. But it's like, look, I don't believe what you believe. I can respect you without having to give up what I believe. But if what you believe is that I'm evil for not believing your way, one of us is in the wrong here. So we can either keep it peaceful, and I have no reason to take anything from you. I just don't have to acknowledge what you believe in because it has no effect on me. Like me not believing in what you do shouldn't have an effect on you.
Your beliefs should be strong enough regardless of whether I believe it or not.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not taking anything from you because you feel this certain way. It's like, I mean, if you don't agree with me, talk with me. It's like, and if you don't even have the balls to do that and you just run away and you just
you can't say not have the balls because that might be part of the problem of the conversation.
Okay, yes, but you know what I mean. the fortitude to have a conversation. And the thing is, if you not only don't have the fortitude to just have a reasoned conversation and you have to resort to emotional attacks, then it's like somewhere along these lines, like, well, there's no more line. It's
Right.
like I'm over here trying to just live
Now
in
everything's a fucking line.
Yeah, it's like
Which negates there being a line.
Yeah, because like even you and I don't agree on everything. We're essentially in the same ballpark, but you know we don't always agree on everything.
Like
Same
I
thing.
know good taste in shows. You know some good taste in shows.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I like She-Hulk. It was great.
It's trash.
Yeah, see, exactly. But
I'm unfriending you as we talk.
I figured that much, anyways. Well, you never like any of my stuff, and you only ever comment with memes about me twerking.
Oh. Did you ever go back and watch Rome Hatton Project?
No, I didn't. I've been busy. Sorry.
Oh, you fucking asshole!
I actually completely forgot. This weekend was a bit of a mess.
Oh man, we gave him a huge. I gave him a huge shout out on fucking Rome Hatton Project last week, and this motherfucker doesn't even watch it. So.
Well, you told me it's somewhere in the episode. It's like, just tell me where.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you where to look because I don't want you to scroll through it, motherfucker. You have to watch the whole thing. I don't skip through your videos when I watch them. I watch the whole thing. I just don't watch all of them.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm not asking you to watch all of them. Just watch last week.
Yeah, I got to sit through like 2 hours of something to go find one mention of me.
Yep.
Yeah, right. We'll see.
You're welcome.
I got a lot of work to do.
No, you don't. Let it play in the fucking background. You'll know when it happens.
You'll know, yeah, because you'll talk about me twerking.
I don't say your name not once.
You say Shoky, probably. You said I got a shout out.
You do.
Oh, so
You just
you
have to
don't
watch
say
it.
it. Someone else says it.
I'm not saying anything else until you go watch the damn thing. You're not going to get it out of me.
Okay, we'll see.
I mean, it was
I'll
a good
just-
show, but I will tell you it's towards the end of the show.
Yeah.
Since you want to be an asshole and skip through my show and not actually watch it. And
Well, I
enjoy
would
the
like
show
to hear at
for what it
least that part. Give me a reason to get there. You know, lead
It's
in,
at the
have the
end.
conversation.
It's at the end.
It's at the end.
Towards the end.
Oh, okay. Did anybody else on the show watch that clip, or did y'all watch it live?
What the
actual?
no. I still haven't watched that clip.
Oh, you haven't actually watched the actual video?
Nope.
Oh, you have to.
I mean,
I
don't.
It's
you
ridiculous.
just sat here for 5 minutes and told me about how you don't want to watch my episode. I don't watch shit.
Well, you know, there's a difference between like a 15-minute clip and like a 2-hour show.
2.5 hour and a half.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an hour and a half. We try to stay in the hour and a half pocket.
But at least it's funny to see me get embarrassed on stage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is true. That does make it worth my time. Now you've sold me on that. See, that's how you should have sold me on Gundam.
Well, if you just imagine that I'm embarrassed by every episode of Gundam,
you'll love it.
You'll love it. It's great. There's certain shows that are definitely embarrassing. Do not watch them. Actually, Sean just completed a custom paint job for somebody on a Gundam that I hate because of the person it's associated to.
I'm not. We're not even talking about Sean. I don't like Sean right now.
Why?
Because he doesn't come on the fucking show. Here we are, 60 episodes later. That motherfucker can't be on here for one shot, just once.
Well, I mean,
We got dudes from Ireland that jump on this motherfucker. So
that's true, but it's 3 a.m. in Ireland when that dude's on here.
And he fucking paints shit for other people. I've been telling him I want a Soundwave paint for how long now? Fuck that guy. Fuck Sean. Fuck you, Sean.
Did you give him money and actually place an order?
That's all he has to tell me is, hey, it would be this much.
What, have you had that conversation?
I said, hey, I want a Soundwave done.
Did you say did you say it on this show, or did you message him?
I said it in the group chat. I'm pretty sure.
Well, he probably.
I don't ever expect anything free in this fucking world, dude.
No.
I pay for my shit.
I mean, just message him.
By the way, I
directly.
am working on a hella trade.
Hella trade.
A hell of a trade. I'm got something incoming that is going to blow my load everywhere. All over the place. I will take pictures when I have it.
Okay, bye.
Dick pics for everybody.
No dick pics for everybody.
No, not at all.
No. Plus, you have to go here in a minute anyway, so we'll just go ahead and wrap up, which you should do so you don't get your load everywhere. All right.
Too late. Twice while we were talking.
God damn it.
You thought I was muting because of the wind.
Yeah. Well, something was blowing.
Yeah.
Gross.
Myself. Eat your heart out, Marilyn Manson.
He's gonna eat something out. Oh, do we get all the way to the very awkward end of this conversation? Oh, okay. So I did want to bring up something real quick before we go. So there's a thing that I have in my shopping cart online right now, and the faster I get the money, the better, because it is a pre-order for what's going to be a limited item. It's another statue from Big Shot Toy Works. So
Never heard of them.
yeah, so they're the ones that made the Apocalypse ponies that I've talked about before. So they're the four ponies of the Apocalypse.
Okay.
They made the Funicorn that I have down here, and they made the monkey with a gun based off of the old Mike Mignola cover from Hellboy.
Hitman. Hit monkey.
Well, yeah, kind of. But it's another monkey statue, and I'll send you a picture of it.
God.
But it's really fucking cool. But the problem is the cost.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a limited run item.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna tell you this: if you're even slightly interested in it, fucking make that
I
shit
know.
happen, dude. Max
It's
out
just-
a card or something, because I still kick my ass about that Imaginarium Arts fucking Soundwave statue. And I
Yeah.
will always continue to do that, because now it's crazy priced if it's not broken.
That's already crazy price to begin with. Luckily, it's nothing like that. It's a high cost for what it is. I'll just say that. Because
I got you.
It's not that big, but it is.
I got you.
Cool.
It's I got you. Yeah, it could be like a couple $100 would be really expensive for
exactly.
a 3-inch tall statue. I got it. But it'd be cheap for a 7-inch tall statue.
Exactly. So the hard part about it is I do have so many things that are about to hit my credit card on BBTS that I'm already reticent.
At what point are you kind of like, have you figured your end game? Because you have set space. Like, you don't have room for super expansion. So have you already planned out your end game?
So with the only part of the end game I don't have planned out is my detolfs, because I have all my Gundam stuff in there in box, but I have no clue how I want to display it, and that isn't moving forward in any way, shape, or form right now.
But I'm saying, like, you're running out of shelf space. I'm not talking about dials and stuff. I'm talking about actually
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, collectibles.
So that's what I'm talking about, because the idea would be, if anything's going to change, it's going to be, I'm going to get rid of the detolfs, get rid of the I guess is it a Besta? Whatever the thing that's underneath it is, and replace it with Billies to be able to expand more again.
You got enough Gundams, you'd probably fill up a fucking Billy pretty quick.
Oh, dude, so before we moved, I had 10 detolfs, and 9 of them were Gundams. Full.
God damn. That's
full.
Too much.
Yeah, and I've built way more since then. So now I'm down to 4. So obviously I can't display everything. But as it goes for my current display, so I've got my set for my Thundercat statues, including the ones with the mutants that are coming. So they'll be up there with Mumra. I have the gap down below, which is where the He-Man statue will go. Coincidentally, it's the exact right size. Now, the only other thing I'll do there is if I buy anything associated with He-Man, that'll make that space better, but I don't have to have like everybody on his team, so to speak.
Gotcha.
Maybe Sorceress, maybe Cringer.
He-Man and Skeletor is enough to represent He-Man.
Yeah, except that their Skeletor is like sold out and like huge. So
crazy
like
price.
I would have.
I'm just saying, like,
I know. I'm just saying. I'm more on board with just getting like He-Man, Cringer, Sorceress. Call it a day.
Gotcha.
I still have to figure out exactly where my Ronin Warriors are going to go, because those are slow rolling. So I've got all my NECA stuff over on one big Billy, but several shelves are not filled up. They're just being used as storage.
You could blend your Ronins in with your Gundam stuff.
No, because I'm going to have a whole diorama for the Ronin Warriors, which means I need 2 entire shelves to make that work, because it's going to be the Warlords above and the Ronin Warriors below.
Bad guys.
Yeah, good guys, bad guys. So with my Ninja Turtles stuff, they're all on the Billies, and I want to figure out exactly how I'm going to do it, probably in little vignettes instead of one entire shelf being one scene. So that's working out. Then the Universal Monsters I've got to figure out. I've got other figures that I don't know if I'm going to continue on the line, or if it's a one-off purchase, or if I'm just going to sell the things. And then my statues are the big thing. So my Demon Slayer statues are hard to display because they're smaller. Like, they don't have a whole lot of vertical space, which means they're not taking up as much space in the Billy, which means they're going to have a much larger gap. And I already have a set number of lights to fill that with the Norflies. The Power Rangers are basically essentially set up like that. Basically, I'm just filling in the shelves where I need characters from certain seasons. Because like that's essentially like, once we get Turbo and once we get the rest of Lost Galaxy and Wild Force, I'm basically done on Power Rangers. I don't need anything else. Just Zords at that point. If I'm even going to go that route. I have the Astro Megazord on order, and I got to figure out how I'm going to display that fucker because it's huge. So everything else, like Transformers wise, I've still got enough room here to manipulate, but I don't need a whole lot more when it comes to Transformers. Plus most of it is Legends, so I can just move shelves about however I need to. Pretty much set
I can
on.
never remember. You have the Studio Cell Unicron?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's the same one I have, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, and God, I want another one because I want one in bot mode, but that's another 400 some odd dollars I don't have.
So you have? I thought you had it in bot mode on the shelf behind you.
No, he's in planet mode because he's got.
Do you have HasLab too?
No, I only have the one Unicron.
Okay.
Yeah, like I've got that kind of money. I don't know.
In my head, I'm picturing you with a
Unicron. I have a Unicron behind me.
Okay.
So like my space is limited, but it's not all set yet. So like, and I have all my Dragon Ball figures that I've pretty much determined I'm not going to keep. So I just need to get rid of them. All my World of Nintendo figures, gonna probably part with those because I don't have anywhere to put them. Except for the ones that are on display on the wall, which they're made to be a wall display, so it is what it is. I'm going to do gargoyles on top of all the Billies, like build out the rooftop diorama basically for the gargoyles, so that space is taken up. Although I can do the Billy extensions if I need to. So if
that's where you add like extra shelves.
Yeah, add to the top. Except for the thing is that midway through both of my Billy shelves is a Besta. And I don't believe they have a topper for a Besta. So it'll be a little weird. It'd be like a little boop down. But that would give me one whole extra shelf. And then I still have like 12 inches of room to the ceiling. So gotcha. I can go vertical a little bit more than I currently have. But if I get rid of the Detolfs, don't worry about the Gundams anymore. Part with them however I need to. And then that gives me enough space for at least probably, if I had to guess, 2 full size and a small Billy, and I'd basically just wrap the room in Billies entirely. And so that would give me way more display space, obviously. But then again, at that point, it's like, what do I put on those shelves when I'm already basically filling up what I already currently have? So that's my only wiggle room I currently have in the collection. So, but when it comes to like what I was going back to what I was talking about, this little statue wouldn't even go in here. It would go out in the quote unquote library as it is out in the living room. But like I've got other expenses. I need to get a new radiator for my car. Mine's leaking. Christmas is coming up, so I can't be too greedy, too selfish, because I also don't know how tight money's going to be this year because they're playing games again. Like they do every Christmas. So I don't know. It's like, this is the problem especially when something's limited that you really kind of want. And Jessica was on board at least looking at it, and she saw the price. She's like, not for that price. And I'm like, and that's what I'm talking. It's like, it's not even like super expensive, but
it's expensive for what it is.
It's expensive for what it is. And
it's like paying $300 for a Chug figure. You're crazy. I think it was $20 on the shelf, like that kind of shit.
But if that's a one of 200 figure, okay, the price is going to go up. That's the difference in it there. Plus, there's just other shit. Who knows? But yeah, we can talk more about that another time. We go ahead and wrap this up. But like we should have a collection / display conversation because we're all working with fixed space, fixed budget and stuff like that. We should probably have that conversation down the line. Like
mine's totally in flux right now because I'm selling off all my masterpiece stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of it I'm using towards trades and stuff. That's what I said. I have a massive trade going on.
Yeah,
it's a lot of masterpiece stuff.
And the other thing is like the one last other part is like the side collection you technically have because of your initial collection. All my boxes, this because you save boxes too. And I don't even save everything. I just save the important shit. Oh, and here's the other thing. I have all my Star Trek ships in storage because I don't have anywhere to put them right now. Yeah, so like I have a whole collection right there that I can't even.
That'd be good on your 12-inch above space. You can like hang them.
Yeah, but I don't want to have to hang a bunch of shit. Plus having something
flight stands at the very top.
Yeah, but then you're looking at the bottom of something from like because we have
flight stands are posable.
Yeah, but we have vaulted ceilings in here, so looking up at everything. And when something that's
Gotcha.
meant to be seen at eye level, when you're looking up at it, it's kind of stupid. And it'd have to be near
Well,
the
that kind of
edge.
goes with literally anything then.
Yeah, well,
So
it's
any
true,
figures you
but
put up there, any statues you put up there, any ships you put up there, all of them are
well, that's
looking
why
up at.
that's why the gargoyles are good, because
'Cause you
they're
can have
on
them
a
flying
rooftop.
down.
They're on a rooftop
Mhm.
already, so that makes sense.
Mhm.
It actually plays with the diorama space. So
Mhm.
like, I only have one spare wall, and it's not even the whole wall. It's like the top 2 feet of my wall where the doors are. Is like the
Mhm.
only other displayable space. I love the fact that I forgot that Master Chief still has a Santa hat on from last Christmas.
Mhm.
So I don't
So
even
he's
have to.
already ready for this
He's
one.
already ready. Good job,
He's
Chief.
the Mariah Carey of the Halo universe.
Jesus Christ.
Mhm.
So like, I have that display space, and I think that might be where the ships end up. Like if I put like clear shelves up there or something like that, and just
Mhm.
set them so you can see it. But either way, then I have artwork I want to
I hate
reorganize.
floating shelves though so bad. I'm always so worried they'll fall.
Yeah, me too. But I mean, like, these things aren't that heavy, you know. So the shelf itself would be way more than the thing going on it. But you
Right.
know, I also hate displaying things up high because nobody looks that high. It's the hard part about displaying shit. You know, you probably won't look more than about a foot above your own head. So if it's 3 feet above your head, you're probably not going to bother noticing it's there at all. So
Right.
that's a hard part. You know, same thing with the way why you raise detolfs off the ground, so you actually get useful display space, because the bottom shelf usually gets ignored on detolfs. So
Yeah.
that's why I kind of hate doing them in the first place. But you got me off on a tangent. We're supposed to be wrapping up here, Ricky.
Mhm.
So either way, guys, hope you enjoyed the episode. Let us know what you thought down below about anything we talked about. Give us a big old thumbs up and subscribe to whatever it is you're following. And if there's any place you could rate things 5 stars or whatnot, please do, because I'll probably see that. Also, I just realized I need to put out the audio version of the podcast for Podbean. I forgot, so I
Ooh.
need to offload that from last week. Hey, look, we're barely getting any kind of downloads or listens on Podbean, so I don't
That's
know.
all I listen to us on is Podbean.
Yeah, I've actually started listening to us on Spotify instead
Right.
because Podbean has weird issues. Actually, I could upload the video version to Spotify too, technically speaking, because they support video. So either way, guys, and of course, follow me at all the Shoky related things. Follow Ricky at Realm Hatton related things, and Nerd Rage Radio on Facebook. And of course, Mike is somewhere. Well, who knows? Mike will make a quarterly appearance, maybe around Christmas. Who knows? Follow him at the Comic Relief Crusader links. And of course, Dormammu should be back on the next episode. Hopefully his work schedule gets better. He's been getting so slammed lately. It's kind of, I don't even know what he does, but I know he does it from home, and they're kicking his ass, and he's not even in the office.
He does IT of some kind.
I would assume so. That's what it seemed like. And I don't think there's anything else to do other than maybe buy some merch. Go buy some merch, guys, because we have cool stuff. It's fun.
Somebody get a doof shirt and take a picture of yourself wearing it and send it to us.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
And then come on the show so it applies.
Or just wear the shirt.
That's true. Also, yeah, maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll buy some of our merch for Christmas.
That's Christmas gifts for everybody.
Or I'll put out. I'll make
buy my wife your husband's a doof shirt.
So what? I'll just make a Christmas logo and then put it on a shirt, like the Nimea logo, but make it Christmas, and I'll make a Christmas shirt. If you guys would like to buy a Christmas Nimea shirt, let me know. I will put all the stupid decorations on it that I can. All right, guys. Well, we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy body full of tats.